Today on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. I'm the Doctor, being joined here by Lasergician, and we are here with the Boston BlueBeat Monthly, and we're going to be starting it off with an exhibition for you guys. So I hope you guys are ready for some Guilty Gear action.
Yeah, I am excited for this. We haven't actually done an exhibition here for a while. We've done some online exhibitions, but offline, at least I haven't been a part of one for a while.
We've been trying.
Yeah.
It's something that we're trying to bring in and really, acclimate to the monthly, because it is super fun, and the people involved always come back with great feedback.
Yeah.
Every time we do one, they're like, that was awesome, I had a ton of fun, I can't wait for the next one.
And I love exhibitions because they really put the C in the FGC,
Yeah.
right? Help build storylines, like find your rival, find your bracket demon. It's a good way to get some involvement, some community aspect going. And we got some cool communities going on this time because it's all going to be teams from schools around the area.
Yeah, the collegiate teams, we got SNHU, WPI, and WSU all in the house today. So we're going to be doing a 3v3 Waseda-style tournament, and it always brings good results in my experience.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the format. Do you want to explain the format a little bit for anyone who's not aware? In my opinion, it's a really good balanced format, but if you haven't been aware of it, it might be a little weird at first.
Yeah, so Waseda-style is kind of like a winner stays on format.
Yep.
And so we're going to be seeing these 3v3s, and the order of the players is set.
Yep.
However, the team that wins is going to stay on, and then they're going to go up against their next opponent. And so right off the rip, we're going to be having SNHU versus WPI as our first two schools up. And so in that case, if SNHU were to win out in the overhead, then they would stay on the cab, and then we would bring in the next team, WSU, to face off there. So
anyone watching who's not in New England, that's Southern New Hampshire University, Worcester State University, and Worcester Polytechnic
Institute. Yeah. So I didn't know what WSU was, so I'm glad you did. I knew what the other two were, but WSU had escaped me.
Yep.
But yeah, so this is going to be first to three. First to three. Okay, I was like, what did Dink say? I forgot already.
Yeah.
But yeah, first to three. So every player head-to-head directly is going to be a first to three. And then technically, since we've got three players on each team, that is also going. Well, actually, that'd be only a first to two, actually, because there's only.
I think it's last man standing. So you have three people, right?
Oh, okay, last man standing.
The first person on either team plays. Then the second person on other team plays.
And then the
third team. And if anyone on any team is left, you loop back around.
Okay.
So you get eliminated from your team, and if you still have that life left, then when you roll around again, you are now the person who goes up next.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a very fun format. There's going to be a lot of games, which is great for the community and great for the players. Honestly, that's one of the things that typical bracket tournaments don't always necessarily have, because it is double elimination. Winner goes home. Winner stays on. Loser goes home. Basically.
Yeah. In a regular bracket, 1 in 4 people only gets to play 2 matches.
Yeah.
So when you're playing in this kind of format, you're more likely to get more games.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the next step up. I think there's still obviously like ladder formats, and Swiss formats, and things like that. The previously CLG was running the ladder format.
Shout out the Run It crew.
Yeah, RIP to CLG. But this is I think. This isn't a first for BlueBeat. However, I think it is a first for the monthly.
I believe that is correct, at least as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, because I know that they ran a Waseda-style event, what was it, last Monday or the Monday before?
Yeah, for BlazBlue, right?
Yeah, for BlazBlue. They ran it was 2 weeks ago, I believe. They ran the Waseda-style event. And so I don't know if we're heading right into the first match or if this is a button check. But I am missing a little bit of the screen. There we go.
Yeah, we got Todd Howard from WPI going up against Banana Man from New Hampshire. We got a little bit of soul action, a little bit of chip gaming. First game starting off either now or in a moment. Well, looks like we're going for it.
Looks like this is game one. But no, this is actually a really great matchup that we've honestly been seeing since day one of Strive.
Oh, yeah. These are two very archetypal characters. Soul, that like rushdown Shoto type chip. The pesky, quick ninja archetype that's been around for, dawn of time.
He will also delete your health bar, though.
It's true. This is still Strive.
Yeah, the current iteration of Chip is not a death by 1,000 cuts type character. He will shred your life bar. The problem is he's also got one of the lowest gut series in the game and simply explodes when Soul Bad Guy hits him.
Yeah, soul damage, obviously extremely high, one of the hardest hitting characters in the game. Todd Howard able to delete Banana Man pretty easily in that first round, but Banana Man coming back pretty strong here, good 50%, make that 60.
Yeah, getting a couple of those slashes in, catching him out of mid-air. We are going to go right into the Uzumaki Barrage as well, bringing in the homies.
Yeah.
So going to have a safe jump situation here. What are they going to use it for?
Oop, dashes in the 2K, but the counter hit for the close slash from Todd Howard does land. Burst is expended. Good conversion from Todd Howard.
This is kind of a tough situation. You're losing all of these plus frames to Todd Howard. And, I mean, look at Banana Man just slowly backing up, waiting for an opportunity. They do finally get it right into the barrage again. That should be enough, I think.
Has the RC. Ooh, doesn't launch the way he needs it to. Todd Howard has to spend the burst. A little bit of a hero burst potentially, looking to close out.
No way.
Bob Cemetery coming out.
And it's going to connect, and that is plenty of damage. And you can see in the camera there, he's popping off. He knows what he just did to that man.
Okay. Game 1 in the exhibition, we got a heavy mob cemetery. It's going to be a good day here in Boston.
Oh, yeah. And that all came off of the guts that Soul has. Yep. Not every character has the same amount of defense or the same amount of effective HP, would be another term. And the problem with that super that we saw from Chip there, it does a ton of hits, which means it brings the scaling through the roof, which is why he lived when he probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, and already Todd Howard getting that advantage going in this next game as well. Banana Man down to just a sliver. Has meter to use to keep this pressure going. Goes for the Gunflame Feint to reset pressure. Finds him with the overhead. The wild throw, tick throw is going to land for a perfect for Todd Howard.
Yeah, that is a pretty quick one too. Only about 20 seconds into the round. And, coming into this next round, Banana Man's definitely going to have to start working a little bit harder, right? It is first to 3, so we do have one more potential game after this at the end. But right now, Todd Howard is just running through him at the moment.
Yeah, and I really like betting on the DP there. You already have Banana Man pushed into the corner, so if you have to expend a burst for the DP punish, you're still in a great position. Now that risk is cranked super high, Todd Howard gets one hit, Banana Man will explode, but Banana Man finding the advantage here, gets that corner conversion, doesn't have enough of the super. That's okay, wall break damage still good.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get the positive bonus there as well, so you're going to start passively gaining this tension up. Is able to get the 2D in the air as well. Not quite enough damage to close it out. Gets back thrown, and this is actually a horrible situation, but the drop keeps him alive, and he's just going to DP out of the situation.
Yeah, bet it all once again. We're seeing these people not afraid to let it rock. Advantage to Todd Howard early in this game again, but Banana Man finding his way into a hit.
Going to get the command grab. Sets it up, goes for the 6K of all things to wake up Meaty with. That's insanity.
It's relatively active. Those active frames are nothing. It's maybe a little unconventional, but you know what? We like that.
Oh,
God. Good burst. You have to do it. You were dead there without that.
Plus frames from that Fafnir going to allow the wild throw to connect. We are going to swap sides. Potentially, no. Actually keeps them towards the middle of the screen.
I think that routing was meant to be burst safe.
Okay.
But I'm not positive. I don't know Chip quite well enough, but I believe that was going to be a burst safe route. One more on the board for Todd Howard. One more on the board to get the win. Banana Man looks like taking a second, getting a breath, clearing the mind. First match of the day. Good time to do it. Get the kinks out. Let the intro rock like true anime fighting game players.
Definitely needs a minute here. And, that's just how the matchup goes, in all honesty. Like, Soul has come very far, right? He's no longer the instant delete button he was on release, whereas Chip has gone, honestly, upwards in stocks. And so you do need to play a little bit more active and get a lot more right reads as the Chip player right now. And Banana Man finally getting a couple started for him.
Todd Howard is finding these throws over and over again. Banana Man maybe missing a fuzzy timing, maybe just doesn't quite know the counterplay. Todd Howard looking to convert on that fact. Meaty. Sliver of health, Banana Man. You've got to win that. Nope. Air throw closes it up for Todd Howard. One more round.
That was definitely a hero burst if I've ever seen one.
A little bit. You can see Banana Man on the screen there, feeling it. He's laughing to himself, knows he made a choice there, has to live with the consequences.
Yeah. And so now we are going to be heading into this potential final round here. Set point here for Todd Howard. Neither player having their burst available to them. The 6K from earlier comes back, and it works this time.
It's something. Has meter to convert with if he finds another stray hit. Maybe here? Not quite. Can't get Rekka 3 to land. That's okay. Has a full grip of meter. Todd Howard on the approach.
All right, nice fire slash connects. The Rekka not fully going to complete, though. DP's out of the corner, and we're actually still seeing a 6S come out there from Todd Howard.
Well, Todd Howard couldn't quite get the fast RC on the mix from the Bandit Bringer, but that's all right. Todd Howard finding another opportunity here. A sliver of health left on him. Banana Man just needs that one more little bit of damage. Finds the corner pressure overhead on Rekka.
Stays alive.
He's on the board.
Yeah, well, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Stays alive for another round at least. But we are going to have to still see a little bit more action coming out of them. Todd Howard has gotten their burst back, whereas Banana Man still a little wanting, but a couple good counter hits give them the lead.
Yeah, Banana Man finally being a little more active on defense. He's getting a little beat up for it, but it's better than sitting there and taking the throw over and over. So good adaptation coming from Banana Man. Didn't find the whiff punish, though.
Not quite yet. Does connect there with the counter hit. Going to be able to take him pretty much to the corner.
That's a good punish. Not quite in range for the 5D after the close slash. Todd Howard lit in the DP rock. Banana Man with a full grip of meter.
All right, able to get the whiff punish this time, too. Goes for the overhead potential. Goes for the RC afterwards. And now we're in a tough spot. You got to win this offense. Burst available here for Banana Man. Next hit, he's going to have to spend it using that upgraded gun flame.
Ooh, PRC to keep safe. 2H did whiff. That was a pivotal choice. Todd Howard run up wild throw. Doesn't have the RC to make it a kill, but very close.
Finally gets the tech out of Banana Man, but the DP gonna come through, closing out the set. That is gonna be a 3-0 for Todd Howard.
And you can hear WPI popping off in the venue.
They know they won.
It feels good. It feels good to get the win on the board.
Yeah, they certainly know what that means, right? It sets a good tempo. It puts you on the board so you know you're not working from a behind situation. And you get to keep your sole bad guy player alive, which is always a good win.
Yep. Does mean Banana Man will no longer be in the set versus WPI, but there will be another match guaranteed that they get to play, I believe. So should be a little bit more experience to be gained today. Next up for SNHU is going to be Auntie.
We're going to be seeing Swordcom come in here for WPI.
Yep.
So there is one or two sword characters here in Guilty Gear. Not that I necessarily think that's going to be the play on words here, but it's also both sword characters are pretty good in this game.
They're quite solid. Yeah. Wait, does Ram count as a sword character?
I actually wasn't thinking about that one.
Yeah,
but
got Kai and Soul.
I wasn't thinking about them either. I was thinking about Baiken and Nagoriyuki.
Oh, we got a lot of swords, man.
Yeah, now that you're saying it, there's actually a lot of swords here.
I guess that makes sense why Baiken's in Sam Show then.
Yeah, that game getting rollback, maybe see more of her. But no, yeah, I was thinking of Nagoriyuki and Baiken because they're both incredibly strong characters. But yeah, you've kind of torpedoed that train of thought. So no, there could be a lot of sword characters here. Kai Kisuke, another character that did see play, but pretty much most of the Kai players I know dropped him for Bridget when she came out.
I think the only one that I know still playing Kai is Flash Metroid.
Yeah.
Not Flash the Potemkin player, nor Flash the Street Fighter player,
nor Flash the StarCraft player.
Nor Flash the StarCraft player. Although if you told me he was secretly cracked in Guilty Gear, I would not doubt that.
No, not even in the slightest. But yeah, so. And what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, this game.
Sword
WPI
characters.
versus SNHU.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be having Auntie versus Swordcom. Well, actually, we said Swordcom.
Oh, should be Best Nightmare.
Yeah, I was going to say.
One's up next.
Either that was a miscommunication or neither of us can read. Both are pretty much equal.
So you know what the great part about being the ones on the camera is? They can't see our dear friend and beloved production member Wheel on the side right over here.
Shaking his head.
Who is shaking his head because I'm pretty sure he actually put the name Swordcom in there. And if it weren't for me calling him out, then he would have gotten away with it too.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Production can only do what they're told from the TO.
This is true.
So as somebody that also has been in Wheel's position weekly, sometimes you're given information and then you hear from the other side of the room, you hear, audible, we're changing it. And it's like, oh, man, I already put everything in.
You shake your fist in Bunch's direction and say, well,
yeah.
All right.
Well, thankfully, Bunch isn't my TO. It's shout out to Yost.
Okay, that's
Yost does a lot of it.
Yost runs a tight ship.
Yeah, he'll not DQ you. No, I'm kidding. He'll DQ you. But yeah, we are here today. Production and TOs are communicating. I'm hearing game sounds, so we'll be getting into the next set hopefully very soon. I'm trying to peek and see what characters we're going to be getting. Oh, never mind. It's on screen.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you got a moment to spare, you can head on over to our Matcherino and donate a little bit of money to the pot that we are trying to give out to the players today. 100% of the proceeds do go to the players. We want to make sure they have good reasons to keep on coming back in addition to all the great experience and friendships and memories and all that anime things.
Yeah, trying to get them fed, too.
That helps.
There's plenty of good food in the area. But here we go. Speaking of Kai Kisuke.
We were right. Look at that.
Going up against the guitarist, Ino. So this is actually a really interesting matchup, I think, because Ino, again, another one of those characters that really kind of fell off after being Flavor of the Month for a little bit. pretty much Daru being one of the main characters, main players now. She can still rock your world, but right now Kai Kisuke is just popping off.
Yeah, Best Nightmare definitely coming out swinging here. Auntie trying to use that movement that is so signature to Ino to try and make something happen, but just a sliver of health for Best Nightmare to get on round 1.
Does get over the stun dipper there, though, so another chance at life, but ends up trading with the stun edge that time.
Yeah, Best Nightmare willing to play the fireball game. I think that makes a lot of sense. Has really good tools in the mid-range that Auntie won't have quite the same access to, but we do see there the mobility options from Auntie can counteract that fireball game if you're on top of it.
One of them. We saw the other one come in right there. And
after, a little bit of a problem.
It's that floaty dash that she's, I don't want to say cursed with, because Ino players really like it, but when you compare it to some of the other characters in the cast, you're like, man, that's tough.
Wake up Blue RC, try and get some frames, but hit confirmed for Auntie into the super wall break, get a hard knockdown. Yeah. Safe jump, try and run the mix. Can't find it. Run the mix again, go the throw.
Nice recovery there, being able to get around on the board there.
And importantly, Auntie represented high, low, and throw every mix option in that sequence. Yeah. So Best Nightmare knows that he has to be aware of every option running forward for the rest of the set. Establishing those options early, just to make sure they have that fear in them, can be really important.
Yeah, lots of conditioning to be had in this matchup. So we are going to get the back throw here. Shock Edge is applied, or Shock State, excuse me. Going to be able to stuck to the walls. DP right through.
Auntie finding the dive kick, gets that pressure started. Oki with a note. PRC!
Ooh, okay.
There's no block stun left when you're approaching with the stroke, which means PRCing it and into the throw doesn't have block stun to protect Nightmare with it. So Auntie, again, another option being represented early, but not going to matter this time. Best Nightmare finds the opportunity at the end of the round, closes it out 1-0.
Yeah, that was a really kind of tricky situation to find yourself in. You know, blocks the DP, which should be rewarded,
right?
But you do then have to worry about the RC right behind it, and Best Nightmare having enough tension still left over to confirm the hit really kind of hurts. And with no scaling on Red RC anymore, pretty much all these combos are going to hurt.
It hurts a lot. Best Nightmare using some good awareness there, good movement, jump out of the corner to get the corner position for himself. Ooh. Gold burst, because Auntie wasn't in position to punish the DP. Hit confirmed straight into Ride the Lightning, into the wall break. Best Nightmare, a quick round for him.
Yeah, and a lot of that was just, like you said, off the situation of Auntie not being quite in position to punish the DP. Or actually choosing the wrong option, was really what it was. But here we go. Back into the corner, stun dippers out of all things. Back throw for Auntie though.
Here's that dangerous mix position. Auntie not able to convert more than one situation.
Right into the reversal. Gonna work out, good damage. Stays mid that time versus going low. Under the chemical love. First gonna work out though.
Has to choose the right movement option. A little bit of keep out, playing the fireball game.
And I like what we're seeing from Best Nightmare, where they're not throwing multiple fireballs in a row. You can kind of see Auntie hoping that's the case by blocking the first one and going for the stroke under, hopefully, the second one, but there is no second one.
Yeah, there's layers developing in between these two over the course of the set. Auntie on the board in this round. Nightmare on the defensive. Auntie gives up their mix pretty frequently. It's like they're doing stagger pressure with their mix, which is not a bad thing to do, but you have to, I feel, enforce a little bit more of the mix before that conditioning is established.
Yeah, being able to just, make them guess right off the rip, that worked. Okay.
Invincible reversal, we'll take those.
Yeah, does spend the tension that they were building up to this point now, whereas now we're going to get a little bit from Best Nightmare. Going to get a wall stick here. Goes for the break.
About even on life. I feel like this has favored Best Nightmare so far. His ability to control the neutral has been really strong, but as I say that, Auntie makes me eat my words. Finds the neutral interaction, get the advantage, get the board in his favor to tie it up.
Yeah, able to get the right confirm too.
Yep.
I mean, the stroke the big three starter, it's not what it used to be. It used to be a lot stronger, but it's still a really solid position, and that hurt box was insane for Auntie.
A little bit. There we see, you were talking about earlier, that dash that hovers a little bit can be a bit of a detriment in the fireball game if you're not really expecting the timing.
Couple of nice 6Ps from both players just to keep their own momentum going.
YRC getting Auntie off of him. Best Nightmare on the defensive again. Good mash out.
Oh!
Throw whips is punished immediately. Can't get the wall stick, but that's okay. Still has the corner pressure. Really patient. Gave up a lot of ground there. Auntie able to capitalize a little bit so far. Gets that mix running. Converts with the hit confirm into the super.
giving
Best
too
Nightmare
much
was
space.
Yeah, a little too conservative there.
That's one of the things that will take advantage of. If you're given too much space, we saw 3 to 4 different mix-up situations there, whether it was just going for the triple high or even going double low high. It's just like, eventually you're going to guess wrong.
Yeah. When I was at a tournament last year, I was watching Tekken, and a prominent player there has a Pocket Anna, who's a mix-up character. And one of his friends in the crowd, who was, did a little friendly rivalry with another player's friend, looked at him and said, doesn't matter how good you are, a 50-50 is a 50-50.
Yeah.
And eventually that's true. Eventually you're going to guess wrong. Will get a hit on you if you're in that position long enough.
Okay. And one of the things that we've seen from Auntie, too, is when they do get the hit, they generally capitalize it to the best of their ability. But the 6P coming in here, making sure that Auntie can't quite close that gap.
The stare down.
The reversal.
Important there. You have to know how to punish that. It
Yeah.
is 2 hits. If you don't interrupt after the first one, the knockback from the second hit pushes you back far enough that you're situationally safe depending on the character. Good heads up play for Best Nightmare to know to punish on the first hit there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple moves like that in the game. The other big one I can think of is Sin's DP.
Sin's DP, yep.
But the reward there for knowing how to punish it is huge.
And Auntie navigating around the fireball game really well this round, integrating the double jump after the hover dash, but Best Nightmare finds the throw. Easy conversion here. Kai's routes are very, very stable as far as I'm aware, so getting that 50% damage right there, not that hard, but Auntie already enforcing momentum once again, has meter to work with. Backdash for Best Nightmare, and leaves one more opportunity. Maybe a 2-touch here. Not going to be enough with the wall break, but that does give him the positive bonus.
Yeah, notably there is no safe jump there because it wasn't broken with an overdrive, but close enough at the end there. We're going to see Auntie actually take the lead here 2-1 in the set. And again, it's a lot of coming down to giving Auntie options.
Yes.
Because every time we broke the wall there, reset to neutral, Auntie gets to play a little bit more neutral game, lots more stroke, lots more jump attacks.
Backdashes the throw, but Best Nightmare finds a counter hit. Doesn't matter, can't convert. Back throw for Auntie, gets position. Throw's broken.
It's really interesting how many throws there are in this set, because that's not normal in Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is not a take-the-throw type game.
Yeah, these guys are really playing a lot of footsies with each other, which I feel like on a character basis probably is in favor of the Kai, but Auntie making use of the RC really well there. That's the second or third time we've seen the stroke PRC throw. Gets the corner position.
Gets a counter hit.
Wall slump. Oh, doesn't take it though. Takes the wall break instead, has the positive bonus, has the meter, finds the hover dash JH. One more round for Auntie to get another victory in favor of SNHU.
Yeah, the Eno play has been evolving throughout the whole set. Game 1 did look a little rough, but now that we're here in potentially the final round, it's definitely evolved quite a bit. Lots of 5Ps there to interrupt the air. And this is the mix, right? How many times can you guess right is the answer. And right now, there's the DP.
Yeah, Auntie has represented throw on Wake Up, or against Wake Up a couple times in a row. Best Nightmare calling it out with the DP. Good choice, good adaptation. Stun Edge enforcing the shock state. Positive frames, but Auntie matches up the counter hit.
That was super interesting. The delay after getting the stroke. This time
Meter?
it connects again.
Oh, didn't confirm. Didn't believe in himself.
What?
That's okay. Empty jump 2K2D Auntie.
Okay.
1-0 on the 3-1 in favor over Best Nightmare.
Yeah. That was, again, lots of adjustments from both players. We were able to see the really strengths of both characters as well. Eno, on the back foot, doesn't have a lot of agency until you get that reversal overdrive out, which we saw a few times from Auntie, whereas on the back foot, I don't think DP was quite offered as much from Kai Kisuke, because he's got a pretty good DP.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the mix was very traditional high-low, and it's not always a safe jump if I know my Eno tech correctly.
Yeah.
So I think that is challengeable if you are willing to.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it is a safe jump, don't get me wrong, so you can safe jump it, but I believe has to opt into it being a safe jump. So representing the DP a little more frequently, I think you're probably right, would have been a worthwhile option.
But, I mean, it's also like the matchup knowledge against an Eno is definitely a lot rarer than the knowledge against a Kai.
Absolutely.
They're just inherently less played characters. I mean, both of them are really less played if you consider the tippity-top tiers of Guilty Gear at the moment. But
if you're just playing on the ladder, you're going to run into Kai.
You're going to run into more Kai than you're going to run into Eno, even though she is kind of a series staple up to this point.
Definitely.
No, I mean, that was a really great match. It does tie up this series between SNHU and WPI. The victory for Todd Howard, now the victory for Auntie.
Yep.
Next up, we're going to be getting Small Squish going up against Swordcom. So we were talking about it a little bit earlier and getting baited by the TO. But this time, it is definitely Swordcom on the keys.
Yep. Looking at who. So okay, we got looks like Small Squish going to be on May, and that's a Ramlethal I think I'm seeing from Swordcom, if I'm not mistaken. No,
Nope.
it looked like that was the coat from Eno. Okay, Bridget versus. Is that a Happy Chaos?
Oh, wow.
Eno.
I was going to say Chaos against Bridget. All right, so it's actually going to be Eno versus Bridget.
So this is an interesting matchup because
Very
there are
interesting.
a lot of Eno players who switch to Bridget.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of similar things. They're both Vortex characters who like to get a knockdown and then start Vortexing you with high-low mix-ups until you die.
Yeah.
But the tool set for Bridget is significantly more complete than it is for Eno. Eno is more of a specialist, Bridget is more of a generalist, but they have similar game plans. So it's kind of a matter of what you prefer, going all in on an idea or having a bit more of a balanced tool set.
Yeah, and I mean, there's lots of things that Bridget does that is kind of just like inherently better than some of the counterparts in the cast, right? Like there were some people when she came out that was like, this is just a better Axel.
Right.
And, that didn't eventually end up being true, especially after a couple Axel changes that really gave him a buff.
Yep.
But Bridget's still incredibly strong here. She has some really nice long-range poke buttons that I think could frustrate if given the opportunity. And you always have to worry about two things with Bridget. The meterless DP on Wake Up.
Yes.
And the command grab that can be either grounded or airborne.
Yep. Meanwhile, Bridget has extremely low effective health,
Yeah.
which does help kind of shore up one of Eno's main weaknesses, which is her damage is for Strive comparatively low. So while she can definitely get it done on the damage department for pretty much any matchup, against Bridget specifically, it does have a little bit of a lessening effect.
He's going to get the hit here. Nice late burst. We were trying to get a bait in there from Swordcom. Didn't quite work out, though. He's going to get their stroke in the corner. Good stuff so far here. Able to jump up over the 2D. Gets the knockdown with the note pressure. And this is exactly where Swordcom wants to be. Bear drop, punished, and you're dead.
Yeah, see, there we can see that's that Vortex coming into effect. Swordcom doing a great job enforcing those mix-ups once they got to the corner. Great job getting Small Squish into the corner, too. Counter hit on round start is really dangerous because just like the last round, you're already pushing to the corner. Swordcom not going for the full conversion of the wall break so that they could set up this wall slump routine. Takes it this time for the positive bonus. Small Squish, no meter to work with. Swordcom gonna have a full grip in just a second. Bait the burst. Find closing it out to be so easy. Small Squish not able to find a way out of that pressure. Swordcom doing a great job getting the Vortex going.
Yeah, we mentioned the meterless DP that, Bridget has versus Eno, but that's really one of the only reversal options that she's working with, especially trapped in the corner like this. And if I'm remembering correctly, it is one of the few that are non-RCable.
I believe that's correct.
It's her and I believe Sin are actually the only ones. So the DLC character is kind of losing out on that. It looks like we were going to attempt the command grab there, I think, from Small Squish.
Yeah, Swordcom challenging it to get out of that pressure. It is reactable if you know to look for it, but it is one of the things where you have to be looking for it in order to react. So,
and it is channelable.
Yes.
So you can hold it and not release when standard timing-wise. But gets the knockdown again into the Vortex we go. High, low, where will you go?
DP, Swordcom late burst, get out of that pressure. Small Squish taking the dive, finds a command throw, and there we go. If you're not looking for it, it can land on you. You have to be practiced in the Bridget matchup.
Yeah.
And now that it's been represented, Swordcom has to worry about it for the rest of the set.
Yeah, and the range is surprisingly far on it as well when using the heavy grounded version. But it's also, if you use it in the air, you can hold the button and land on a grounded opponent and actually still get the grab off. But Swordcom saying, hey, I got one of these too. Let me show you how it looks like. Gonna break the wall with it. It gets the kill. Oh,
That
boy.
damage! The Daru special, when you're in that Vortex, you're thinking high-low throw, high-low throw. You're not thinking overdrive, and if you can catch someone on that, there's no scaling after the hard knockdown, which means that plus the wall break unscaled does massive damage.
Oh, man, is this going to be the dueling command grabs? Not the typical matchup you think when you see these two, but definitely going to be fun to watch if that's where we go. Now we're getting a little bit of this Bridget Vortex. Going to be able to get the wall slump.
Nope, takes the super for the wall break. get that positive bonus. Small Squish has been lacking in meter for most of this set, so being able to get that running with the mix-up goes low. That's one apiece now. Okay, Small Squish looking a good bit better at the end of that round than in the first match.
Yeah, I mean, I think the command grab opportunities have really been working out for them, but it's also Bridget. Bridget's is a strong character when you get to run your own game.
Right.
And so that's another big counter hit there. Didn't follow it up with anything kind of tricky, but now that we're in the corner, we get to see that Bridget Vortex. Chemical Love out, though.
Yeah, Chemical Love is doing some really good work on the space control department. Small Squish is, generally, Bridget is the one you would expect to be able to control the neutral game, all that spacing, all that good long-range tools. But Swordcom using the Chemical Love specifically as a counter tool against all that space control, really, really effective in this matchup.
Yeah, one thing to note is that you can't block when you're spinning through the air as Bridget, and that's where the Chemical Love is really connecting. And it's
as a challenge tool.
Yeah, it's a really interesting option that I hadn't necessarily thought of when I thought of this matchup. So it's good to see that Swordcom is knowledgeable about that.
Throw was not an option that was represented for this game so far, using it just at the end. Mix up your options, rotate effectively. Small Squish looking to go in the air. Interesting about this match also is Ino's a very, very dominant character in the air. Has a lot of good mobility, has the dive kick, has Chemical Love, has a lot of ways to control airspace, but Small Squish not afraid to get up in there because there's also really great aerial mobility options for them too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Bridget's aerial moves too just have really large hitboxes.
Yes.
So you can hopefully try and beat them out in the air, but in this matchup right now, Swordcom just has such a life lead. Bear drop, not going to work out, gets hit by the overhead, and now you got to guess.
One more, spends the RC to confirm the hit into a win. Swordcom 2-1. One more to take the match over Small Squish. And that was kind of just more of what we've been seeing, right? There's not a lot of development here. This is a lot of proactivity being thrown against proactivity. It's who can win in neutral so they can run their honestly pretty oppressive game plan.
Yeah, and we saw right at the end there, we saw Small Squish try to go for a backdash.
Is Small Squish thinking about a character switch here? No, okay, just thinking over the matchup a little bit.
Yeah. So you can see the backdash is indicative of both of them being kind of throw heavy, whether it's the command grabs or the regular throws. And Swordcom, knowing that that was a potential, went for the stroke, and that's what was able to close out the round. So here we get the burst out of both players already. Chemical Love winning the day again.
Ooh, challenge on the mix-up. Swordcom getting to run the game.
Oh, this is a big, bad situation here for Small Squish.
There's those big buttons coming out for Small Squish. RC after the command throw takes the setup. This is a wall slump setup. Oh, it doesn't even matter with the wall break. That's enough damage.
That was a really nice comeback there from Small Squish. It looked like it was just about over and able to get a couple counter hits to go their way.
It looked confident is the important part. We saw Small Squish kind of thinking over the matchup before this game, so I like to see confident play coming out, not getting demoralized.
Oh my god!
Really, really representing that command throw. Doesn't take the wall break with the super, just goes for the keeping the meter option instead.
That's huge!
Woo! Hard knockdown, 2K2D, Swordcom has to burst. One more hit, that'll do it. Toss the yo-yo. We're at 2 apiece. One more for Small Squish, one more for Swordcom, and that was a really, really confident showing for Small Squish. I like that look.
We saw 3 successful command grabs in a row, one of them closing out a round, and then we also saw the overdrive, not even with punish, it was just like a prediction punish.
The call out.
Yeah, knowing that Swordcom was going to go for an air normal.
Here we go, we're at the long range game. Swordcom there, you were talking about it earlier, using the Chemical Love to challenge the roll-in can be such an effective tool in this matchup that I never considered. 6P.
Nice.
2K2D. Oki. Finds the command throw super yet again. No scaling on this. Swordcom knows that it landed, knows that's going to do damage. Not quite enough, but that doesn't matter. Air dash all the way in. Overhead off the air dash. The hover dash that is Small Squish. Gotta find a way in this game, otherwise Swordcom gonna roll away with it.
DP's out of the corner there. Not able to cancel with an RC because they didn't have any tension, but they're thrown right back in, and they're trapped. They can't go for the DP again because now that it's so readily there, you're going to be aware of it. Went for the 5 dust? That's not a defensive option.
Can't break with the super, though. Gives Small Squish one more look. Just the one, though. Has to spin the burst.
Gets a second look, but there it is. The reversal overdrive from Swordcom. Going to be able to take the set 3-2. That was insanely close.
That was a really great match. So there's one thing I noticed at the end, actually, a little bit of adaptation. So I did say a little bit into the set, there was a lot of running your plan versus running your plan, right? The layers weren't developing too much, but I did see a little bit at the end where Small Squish was really favoring fuzzy jumps and jump outs when they were under corner pressure. So Swordcom started using predominantly overheads and Chemical Love to protect Wake Up, so specifically to shut down those options. 2K2D would have been able to been jumped over if you, obviously you shouldn't be mistiming your meaty, but if you are going to mistime it, then 2K2D is going to be the one that you jump out of. Chemical Love and JH instead are going to catch the jump out. So representing those options a little more, especially the Chemical Love, specifically as a counter action to trying to jump out, is a really cool adaptation. I really like seeing that.
Yeah. So now, if my Waseda style understanding is correct, we might have...
Should be Auntie versus Todd Howard. Because you just go back up to the top again with whoever is still left on your team.
Yeah.
So SNHU has Auntie as the only player left on their roster for this match against WPI. WPI still has Todd Howard on the Soul and Swordcom, who we just saw on the Eno.
Yeah, so Auntie was the Eno player that we saw first in today, taking the W over Best Nightmares Kai. And again, that is if our understanding of Waseda is correct, which isn't necessarily true, but I can see some conglomeration, maybe some congratulations.
You got to gas up your team, right?
Yeah, 100%. And especially if they're going in for, to try for an OCV, that they do need a little bit of help.
All right, Swordcom and Auntie first. That is the call. Thank you very much, Wheel. So we're going to see Swordcom on the Eno against Auntie on the Eno. Eno mirrors are wonky.
Yeah, I always like watching mirrors. I know that it's not always the most optimal play, but I think being able to showcase how you handle your own players' shenanigans kind of shows you the mastery level of your own character.
Yeah.
And Eno is definitely a character with a lot of shenanigans.
Yes. Shenanigans, indeed. So here we go. It's going to be Swordcom, going to be Auntie, WPI versus SNHU. Potentially the last game that WPI needs to get on the board in order to close this set out. Auntie fighting for SNHU's life. Auntie going for the Daru colors. I love it.
So already, round start, they're getting active. Back throw coming in there from Auntie. Sets up for the mix. Already forced to burst. Oh, that's a huge counter.
Yeah, throw is one of the counterplay options when you block a dive kick. There are ways to counteract that. You can actually air jump after the dive kick if you haven't expended it yet. So you can play around it. You can dodge out of the throw. But I like seeing that Auntie is already willing to represent that option. It's a counterplay that you need to know, like you were talking about earlier. And not everyone always knows the counterplay to their own character.
Yeah. You also, again, don't always see your own character when you're playing Eno. But back throw coming in from Auntie, who took a very quick round lead, forced to burst their own burst this time. Gonna get knocked down, has to deal with the mix, high-low, blocks the stroke, can't block the up-high.
Here we go. This is that corner vortex you've been seeing a little bit.
Oh, it's blocked. No punish, though.
Yep, good job. Safe jumping the hard knockdown. So it comes with one more hit. Ooh, a counterattack. Gets out of that pressure.
Nice punish on the stroke, gonna go for pressure again, gets the low to connect, and Auntie looking to make this comeback happen to take the game, forcing the burst out of Swordcom though.
And that hurts for Swordcom. You thought you were about to win the round to keep the burst. Getting into the next round with your burst intact is so much better than without. Auntie getting the burst out of Swordcom, that's a win for that round.
Yeah, especially since they're just about to have theirs back.
Yes.
Although they might have to spend it by the end of this combo. Never mind, ends just as they get it back.
Oh, it hurts. Let me out. Swordcom finding the conversions, keeps the wall slump, has enough meteor, do it again. Do it again. Oh, messes up the super input. That would have been enough to kill, but no, now Auntie has one more shot. Swordcom with a positive bonus, keeps that meter rolling. Auntie challenges the PRC, expecting a throw mix, I think.
Went for the air overdrive, so there wasn't close enough to the wall to get the break. Actually, and this time they do get caught by the reversal overdrive of Swordcom, so they're the first on the board.
Yeah, you think you can block my reversal overdrive? Fine, I'll do it again. Make sure you're still on point. Make sure you're keeping it nice and airtight. Auntie with the call out.
Interesting.
Look at some buttons.
Yeah, Swordcom actually changed the Roman cancel input there, the Roman cancel macro. So interesting. You don't often see that.
That matters.
Especially after a win, too.
If that was wrong, that matters.
So heading into game 2 now, like we said, Swordcom having the victory 1-0. Auntie going for a throw tech.
They got a little lucky that Swordcom already put out a button. That punish could have been a lot worse.
It's 37 frames of recovery.
Yeah.
That said, this is looking to hurt, getting caught again. Breaks the wall.
It looks like another misinput on the super. I think that would have killed it again, too.
So I'm torn, because I don't know if it's actually a misinput, because a couple times now we've seen round start here, the red RC, as a potential burst save bait option.
You know, that's true. That's true. Finds the hover dash JH Swordcom looking real good. I also like using the Chemical Love twice in the combo structure so you can get more wall damage. You can set up the wall slump Oki even more consistently.
Blocks the approach here from Auntie.
Ooh, good air take.
Oh, going under the Chemical Love there with the stroke to big tree is definitely a huge opportunity, but forced to block again.
Double overhead into the screw kick, into the dive kick. Did you block it? You did. You know the counterplay too. Well done. RC to keep the combo going, take the wall break, take the positive bonus. Also, you got to fight back.
Auntie's holding on to the burst for a long time too.
There it
Finally
is.
spending it right at the end, but it's not enough. Chemical Love beating the air dash.
Weirdly similar to the Bridget aerial movement too, because it's being used as a keep out tool for the hover dash, the same way it's being used as a keep out tool against the yo-yo movement.
Oh wow. Round start, stroke the big tree, getting under the Chemical Love. Auntie not quite having that same keep away pressure that they would like to have.
Burst expended early. I like that. This is a very momentum-based matchup between these two. So, ooh, can't punish the throw with, but that's okay. We still got our pressure running anyway.
Back to the corner. All right, gonna bust out with just a normal PRC throw.
Yeah, good one. It's a good way to get a punish when you think you're not going to get one, when your opponent thinks you're not going to get one. Wall pressure going. Can't quite find a break yet. Hitbox, hurtbox, shenaniganery coming out.
Yeah. One thing I'm seeing from Swordcom too on their meaty notes is they're slightly delaying it, and so it's hitting very late in the wake up. So we saw one actually whiff entirely in that last mix-up scenario, which is, I'm guessing, intentional.
Yeah, I imagine if you're delaying it's to make it like slightly more meaty, a little later in the active frame. Jumps out of the command throw. Finally, we see that one doesn't land. That setup's been used a few times this set between these two schools.
Nice back and forth here. Auntie, though, gets a little bit caught out. Gets hit by the overhead again. Is that not quite enough? All right, where's the burst?
Jumps out of it. Swordcom has an opportunity here. Auntie has the burst.
Oh, no. Tried to keep plus frames on their side, but it didn't even hit. Gets the overhead, forces the burst out of Swordcom.
This is so close. One more hit in either direction. You can hear these two in the venue cheering for their friends. One more round apiece to close out this game. Auntie needs it to stay in the match.
Does get counter hit to round start, though. Not what you like to see. Gets a knockdown of their own, though. Does it again.
Fights out of pressure. Swordcom getting to run a little bit. 2K2D twice. Do it again. No, goes overhead.
Meaty. The note comes out. Doesn't actually connect with the Chemical Love to play keep away.
The stroke finds the hover dash. Oh, these two characters are tools against themselves. It's such an odd thing to see. Back throw, PRC. Can't find the wall slump. No, they went for a throw again. Oh, that hurts. 2K2D. We're seeing the knockdown yet again. Here comes the vortex.
That's going to work.
It did. Auntie fighting back, finds the overdrive. It does send you into the air, so got over the 2K that was supposed to be a meaty hit. Auntie one on the board now.
And just immediately round start from Swordcom goes aggressive. Gets the knockdown, keeps a couple meaty options available, and just working it in the corner.
That's big damage already, down maybe 60-70% damage.
Oh, and a counter hit? Can't quite follow it up with much, but all of this pressure, you're going to get hit eventually.
Needs one more, RC to keep pressure. Needs one more, RC to keep pressure. Needs one more, there it is, double overhead. Hey, look, if they got a vortex, so do I.
Yeah, I mean, it is just going to work, right? We saw lots of tension being spent there, had the positive bonus, so was able to keep the tempo going. And no burst yet from Auntie. Again, they're fighting for their team's life at the moment. And this corner is not where they want to be right now. Bursts to try and get out. But
yeah, had to. That was going to be a wall slump setup with one more hit. That wall had a lot of damage on it. You have to get out of that situation. Now getting to run their own offense. Burst in return.
Oh.
Woo! PRC with a little bit of invulnerability, I think, there. We got the double overhead.
Does get the knockdown, sets up with the note, gets the knockdown, sets up with the note. How many times can you guess?
Overhead stagger pressure takes Swordcom all the way to a win. That's going to be 3-1 in favor of Swordcom. That's going to be 3-1 in favor of WPI. SNHU, put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Definitely good things in that match. Everyone should be very proud with the way they played.
Oh, definitely.
And, you know, honestly, just be proud they came out to begin with. Getting your team out to an event, like anyone who's played D&D knows coordinating more than like 2 people is an impossible task, especially if you're trying to play video games, board games. So managing to make it happen, you know, hats off to you.
Yeah.
This is not my just being salty about my group never getting together anyway.
Of course not.
No, has nothing to do.
Never. But no, really great play from all the players here so far today. It makes me very excited for the next matchup because we can actually see the characters,
Yep.
that we're going to be seeing. So we're going to be getting a Gold Lewis, a Testament, and a May from WSU. So a whole new set of characters that we have not yet seen today, but characters that are very scary to go up against, I think, in their own separate ways.
Yeah, so obviously Gold Lewis can, I can swear like once or twice on this show, fucking kill you. If you get hit by him, you are probably going to lose the round unless you know the specific Gold Lewis counterplay.
True.
May is even worse.
Think so?
Yes, has sincerely a TOD on most of the cast at like 40% risk. May is like undisputably the highest damage character in the game in this version of the game, which is something that I am horrified to say. So between those 2 characters being able to just absolutely rob you blind, it doesn't matter how good you are, a 50-50 is a 50-50. It doesn't matter how good you are, a TOD is a TOD. So you're going to have to see if they know how to play around those eventualities. If you do, those matchups are absolutely manageable. If you don't, they are absolute nightmares. Testament is similar because if they can get up in your face, then their diagonal fireball is plus on block. If you don't know how to escape that scenario using FD judiciously, using fuzzy timings, using some good abares, it can be disgustingly hard to get out of their corner pressure. So I'm seeing a lineup of characters that are particularly oppressive. And if they can really run over you if you don't know what to do.
And, you know, when they're coming up here against SNHU, we got Chip, who explodes, Eno, who explodes, and Bridget. No, I'm looking at the wrong roster.
Should be winner stays. WPI is still on. So
Yeah.
Soul, pretty good effective health.
Yeah,
not exceptional, but pretty good. A little bit above average, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the reason they're so high on Japan's tier list is Soul has exceptional defensive options.
Oh yeah.
3 frame 5K, a DP, as well as system mechanics, as well as a 5P is just 5P, has a lot of good options in order to get out of unfavorable situations. Kai, sort of the same thing.
Really similar, minus the 3 frame.
Yeah, exactly. And pretty crap on defense, but that's okay. Their offense makes up for it.
Yeah. And, Testament and Gold Lewis not having meterless reversals.
Yep.
May does in the form of Up Dolphin, but not great effective health. So I think it'll be an overall interesting series of events. Going from top to bottom, we're going to have Gold Lewis versus Soul, Testament versus Kai, and then May versus Eno. Interesting enough, but...
Also noteworthy that Gold Lewis and May, heavyweight and lightweight. So they may require unique combo routing.
True.
So at this level, you expect that that's not going to be much of an issue, but it is something worth keeping in mind. And what else is worth keeping in mind? All the other cool events that BostonBlueBeat has coming up in the near future.
Yeah, definitely a lot of them. We're going to be having the next monthly in May 20th. As always, tons of good games, Exurge, Strive, BBCF, and Melty Blood type Lumina, which is a fun game. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm a fan. We also got online, our next Plus R monthly. It's going to be April 22nd. It's coming up in just a week, I think.
Yep.
And then if you were around last summer, we ran a little event known as Beach Episode, which was a ton of fun. That is BostonBlueBeat's biggest event of the year. We have a couple days worth of events. We have balance patches weekly on Friday, have a tournament on Saturday, and on Sunday we all go to the beach. It's a good old time. And if you're in the area, I highly suggest you make your way out. I know they're actually A lot of people talking about driving up from other places just to visit, for this is basically turning into like a regional event, which is really, really cool to see.
Yeah, it's great to have something like that in our backyard. Very accessible. And the game list is infinite.
Pretty much. We got Xrd, we got Strive, and Plus R. So we got the full roster of Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
We got Melty Blood, Actress Again, Current Code, which is not MBTL, strangely. It's the one before that.
Yeah.
Because, that game's been out for forever. And BBCF, Them's Fighting Herds, SMS. We got everything you could possibly want and more.
So, with that said, we are heading into our first matchup here, which is going to be Frank versus Todd Howard. Gold Lewis versus Soul Bad Guy. We're going to see a lot of counter hits in this matchup for the most part. And already they are swinging, forcing the burst out here already. That jump dust, though, is very scary from Gold Lewis.
Yeah, it really is. That is a very versatile tool. It can cross up, it can hit super meaty, it's super active, has really, really good applications. Todd Howard finding the counter hit. Doesn't convert quite all the way, but that's okay. Good Abare coming out of Frank.
The minigun usage is actually really interesting, especially in a matchup like this. Heavy Mob Cemetery, not going to work out this time. No punish, though.
I wanted it. Todd Howard, I see your game. I am now familiar with it. Tick up throw. Same kind of game plan we saw him running in his first game in WPI versus SNHU. A lot of call-outs, a lot of throw-heavy gameplay.
And we're seeing actually a fair amount of success, which was notably nerfed this season. And so a lot of Soul players are talking about how they need to use more 5H in place of it.
Yep.
But Todd Howard not concerned by any means. Granted, that could be because of how slow a lot of the Gold Lewis buttons are.
Ooh, the overhead. That is technically reactable if you're looking for it. But again, if you're not looking for it, that can wreck your health bar. Frank coming out strong there. Todd Howard coming out strong now. Meaty Fafnir for the plus frames. Finds the knockdown. Meaty Fafnir for the plus frames. Doesn't put the knockdown with the throw. Frank vortexes him in. There's another throw, though. Todd Howard loves scooping you up.
Yeah, definitely forced the burst out there. Actually getting hit by the Bandit Bringer. Gonna get back thrown, though, and the meaty drone. Not as powerful as it once was, but you cannot be jumping out there. Gets knocked down again. DP out. He's blocking. He's blocking. He's DP?
Even better. That is the true spirit, Daisuke's vision of Soul Bad Guy. If you're going to run up, do not block, and you're DPing. This is a call-out of all call-outs. We got Heavy Mob Cemetery. We got Run Up DP. We got throwing you with Wild Throw when we think you're going to be swinging a coffin around. Todd Howard is wilding out here.
To be fair, it's the pure embodiment of Soul Bad Guy.
This is the Soul Bad Guyest Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah. Fafnir going to keep those plus frames on deck. 2K2D Bandit. Frank's just like, please get away.
Yeah, using the Behemoth Typhoon as keep out is a not too crazy in combination with a minigun. But Todd Howard say, why would I block when I can hit you first? Frank saying, whatever you can do, I can do better. I'm churning that butter. I'm going to get that, what, like 720 churn on there? So much damage.
Yeah, the full churn. You saw both drones coming out of it as well. JD going to work out that time. Frank tried to beat it out. Oh, no.
Ooh, the aerial mobility from Soul Bad Guy. The Mochi special doesn't matter, though. Couldn't quite get there for a meaty. Frank calls it out with back throw. I like that Frank is willing to play at Todd Howard's level, right? Todd Howard wants to kill you. Frank says, all right, cool, I can do that too. And here we go. Todd Howard already down to 50%.
Yeah,
BT in the air.
Frank had a really nice setup there, going for the mix-up and then the back ankle pick to get them in the corner, but got thrown away. That's an interesting trade. The DP came out, but it still didn't quite connect. This shouldn't work?
Yeah, he's looking for the landing recovery when Frank is trying to jump a little haphazardly. Todd Howard saying, okay, you have at least 3 frames of landing lag that I can work with, if not more, if you're pressing a button when you come down.
Yeah.
If I can catch that with Heavy Mob Cemetery, you die. But Frank mixing up the timing a little bit. Todd Howard a little trigger happy on that. So I'm thinking Frank being able to play around that is a good thing to have in the back.
You also have to think that Gold Lewis, as he gets a crazy hit there with the Typhoon, but it's a single jump character.
Right.
You know, does not have that double air jump, so the timing is pretty predictable on the jumps. You really only have to guess between normal jump and super jump.
They can adjust that a little bit with BTs. And here we go, getting the full turn in response. That's going to be enough damage? Yes, it is. Todd Howard getting taken out on the wake-up reversal.
He went for the throw.
He did.
He'll learn, maybe. Oh, gets under the Behemoth Typhoon, taking advantage of that 6P upper body invincibility. And now
Wall slump. Oh, doesn't take it.
Doesn't need it. You're so back. You don't get a safe jump anyway, so who cares? Behemoth Typhoon for the pressure.
Gunflame playing the projectile game. That is one thing that Soul has in favor over Gold Lewis is projectiles. But doesn't matter if Frank is able to find a hit anyway. Doesn't matter if Todd Howard's able to find a hit anyway. Goes for the throw again. Todd Howard calling it out 3 times in a row.
Yeah, that one, I think it looked like the wild throw. Tyrant Rave going to get blocked up, but no punish available, too far away.
Couldn't find it. Now the spacing game.
That was so deep with the JD. He just runs up and 6Ps the minigun. Gold burst coming out here from Frank.
You got to spend that meter to block. You got to spend that meter to keep yourself safe. Doesn't matter, Frank. Woo, we got a set.
Yeah, this is looking very solid here. Frank's going to go ahead and take the lead. 2-1 here over Todd Howard, who notably won their last set 3-0.
The 268 BT on round start is a menace of an ability if you're willing to spend it. Has a lot of startup, so it can be interrupted, but if Todd Howard's just going to step back, Frank taking a little bit of damage there in the beginning of their end is great. Gold burst to counteract the throw again. Todd Howard loves this option, and Frank keeps calling it out time and time again.
It's really interesting that we actually saw the PRC to cancel the minigun at that range. Not sure if that was a misinput or just really wanted to do something else, but does get the wall break here, saves the 50 tension. BRC!
One more interaction for either person, one more touch. These two do so much damage, it doesn't take a lot to close this round out.
No way.
This is the landing lag.
That one's gonna
Not
work?
quite enough, though.
The counter hit, not enough either. Still needs one more to connect. Behemoth Typhoon. Chip is a real thing in this game.
There it is. The minigun, enough to close that round out. Frank needs just the one more. You can hear everyone in this venue is popping off at this set right now.
So here's the thing. This venue is known for Gold Lewis play.
It is.
Anybody who has seen the Strive monthlies or the Strive weeklies, we have a really good proponent of Gold Lewis. So big fans here. Tries to get under the drone, but isn't fast enough.
Yeah, drone not being represented a ton this set. It has been extremely heavily nerfed, so favoring the minigun at long range lately. Todd Howard frame trapping with the gunflame feint. One more to get back to even.
Big counter here with the 5H. JD, though, always in the back pocket of Gold Lewis, is everywhere, but can't get the move out fast enough. The back throw here working out really well for Todd Howard.
Wasn't quite able to find the meaty, but just throws it again. Todd Howard, certified rock thrower, finds enough damage, ties up the set 2 apiece.
This is a full set. We're going the distance. And, I mean, wild throw into red RC, you know, well, Guilty Gear players are used to getting comboed after wild throw. That was notably not really a thing in this game until the red RC was no longer scaling. Now we see it quite a bit.
Frank not able to find the meaty, gets thrown out of it on the JD. Todd Howard with the stagger pressure gets hauled out with the Abare. Frank getting those plus frames. The reversal Tyrant Rave. PRC to keep it safe.
Wow. Not
And the
punishable,
gold
though.
burst in response.
Do it again. Again blocked. Red RC to get forward again. Really tons of tension being spent here right now from both sides.
Hey, you can't keep that when you go to the next round.
True.
You might as well spend it.
Counter hit is huge there for Todd Howard. Going to be able to get the meaty one as well. Set point now for Todd.
Frank felt that one in his bones. You can see him trying to shake it off. Big 5H counter hit again. 2K2D. Get them plus frames. No, get thrown out of it. Frank getting to run it now. 6H.
That's not a move you see very often.
There's a reason for it.
Gets the shoulder. Look at the damage. That's insanity. Keeping the pressure on. YRC is a good option. Throws the BRC.
I didn't know that worked that way. The wild throw on the wake up again gets interrupted. Todd Howard, you can't keep trying to get away with it. Frank is not letting it happen.
All that tension being spent on the FD.
The keep away.
Can't quite get in there. Now it is set point for both players.
Both players going to have burst at some point in this round. Frank immediately, Todd Howard shortly. Burst spent there. I like that choice. This is a momentum match.
That
Try and keep him off. Doesn't matter. Counter him to the wake up.
If you're going to spend it for momentum and then get immediately thrashed in the corner, that is where your life ends. The wild throw coming in clutch again.
It doesn't matter, though. It's Gold Lewis. Gold Lewis can murder you. Spend that burst.
Really late twirl there.
Ooh, the trade favors Todd Howard, and in a slugfest of a set, he's going to take it over Frank. That was a huge match.
Yeah, you saw right at the end there. Fist bumps on both sides. Both players, they played their hearts out. They know exactly what they were doing there. And, at the end of the day, it is Todd Howard with the W, but we'll still see more Frank. We're going to see more Frank today.
That's one of those sets where you finish up, you say, damn, that was good. Walk away with your head happy.
Yeah.
So next up, that is going to be, it looks like Pilot coming out from WSU. Testament player has a little bit of advantage in the mid-range and the long range over Soul, but Soul has plenty of good tools to get around that. I think this is a relatively even matchup if I'm not mistaken, but I don't really play either of these characters. You play Testament though, yeah?
I do play Testament. Who notable player who also plays Testament.
Kazam.
Also I was going to say Idom.
Oh, but yeah, there's that.
I suppose I could mention the local player, Kazam. But, no, Idom, notably known for playing cheap characters.
Yeah.
Capcom Cup champion off the back of Poison and Laura. But, no, Testament's really strong. And when you look at their stuff on paper, some of the things that work don't make sense. Right, like I think Arbiter Sign is really kind of the biggest proponent. You're like, it has like 30 frames of startup. How are you getting hit by this? And it's like, it just works.
So, look, I'm just not good enough at the game, okay? I'm just not a god gamer. It happens.
Nobody is, apparently.
Yeah.
But no, Testament has a lot of good stuff going for them. The biggest issue in this matchup, if Best Nightmare really wants to make it, is that the Grave Robbers, the grounded Grave Robbers, do not clash with Stun Edge.
Oh, interesting.
Unless it is at the very startup of the Grave Reaper, they do not clash. The Grave Reaper goes right underneath the Stun Edge. So if Best Nightmare, opts into a kind of projectile game and then takes advantage of the shock state, that is definitely something that Pilot's going to have to be knowledgeable about and have an option for.
Yeah, it's something a situation you have to know how to navigate in order to make that work.
Yeah, I mean, Kai's not a zoner, but in that particular case,
but can zone.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where it's like, man, this is annoying. I wish I knew how to deal with it. Button check. All right.
Button check it is. So make sure everything's working out how we need. Then we'll get into the game right afterwards. In the meantime, while these two are getting set up, you can help us get set up by checking out the Matcherino. I'm sure someone in chat will plug it for us. Make sure these players get the comeuppance they deserve when they are rewarded for their victory. Helps us keep these things running. All the money does, of course, go to the players. And while you're at it, you can claim some of those codes. You don't have to donate anything yourself. Steal that money right out of the pocket of the venture capitalists who are helping us fund these things.
The Matcherino codes, obviously free money coming from the ether, as well as those sponsor quests. Again, just free money sitting on the table there for you. We see the GGs and the fist bumps before the match here. So we are going to be having Pilot versus Best Nightmare. I think the names are swapped at the moment because I did see the Kai and the player one side. So player one is going to be Best Nightmare. Player two here is going to be Pilot, who's immediately counter hit and bursted.
And there we see exactly what you were talking about. That Stun Edge going a little bit over the Gravedigger. Tick throw off the 2K. We did see Best Nightmare represent the tick throws a good amount in their set versus SNHU, so not too surprising to see that.
Yeah, and we're going to find out just how poor Testament's defensive options can be.
Right.
It does have the frame one reversal overdrive, but you need 50 tension. And the offensive use of tension for Testament are just, I think, too good to give up a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to proc that stain state with the Nostrovia with the 50 meter is really, really good, especially if you're hit confirming in a neutral. You get a lot of advantage frames too.
Yeah, I mean, being able to, we have the stain state applied here. Grave Reaper goes out just for the pressure, but being able to keep the offensive going, whether on block or on hit, only gets better when you can spend tension afterwards as well.
Yep, we see the Stun Dipper RC, the time-honored classic neutral skip, but Pilot spending the YRC to get out of it, getting the neutral. Now we see, a backdash gets Nightmare out of his advantage state.
Went for the high Grave Reaper there, trying to prevent a jump in attempt. Gets over the Stun Edge, and look at the damage that can happen.
Triple overhead there is nasty, Oki.
Yeah. it is, there's been some things given to Testament that they didn't start with, which is really kind of up the pressure game that it can really rock with, both offensively and kind of defensively if you look at their zoning too.
Yep.
Being able to have both Grave Reapers, aerial, and grounded pretty much at the same time really opens up their keep away game. You saw the attempt there. That got beaten out by the twirl from Kai.
2K2D allows Pilot to start running this corner pressure. Stain is procced.
Oh.
Ooh, the reversal overdrive coming out of Best Nightmare. There is a small gap in the block string there. Good character knowledge coming out of Best Nightmare to call that out.
Gets up and over the red RC. Somehow ends up on the other side too.
There's that hit confirm we were talking about. Gets the wall break with the dash up button too.
Yeah.
Pilot.
Lots of travel on that. So, we saw the Ride the Lightning. That's the move.
Yep.
Basically go full screen from coast to coast. The Succubi are pretty close. Not quite the same distance, but definitely close enough for the wall. It's because the Crow was right on Testament. Stain just hits. Okay.
Yeah, that Crow is a menace. Stain gets popped. You got to burst that. That was going to hurt so much. Probably reverse the corner position too. Best Nightmare sliding on into her DMs.
Does get the Crow out there, but another twirl coming in here. Best Nightmare going to be able to break the wall. Meterless though. Yeah, that's exactly the tough thing. You're trying to get the Grave Reaper out there to apply pressure, and the stun edge just comes whiffing over it. And it's fast enough that you don't really get recovery time if you do it at the same time.
Yep. We see really, really good smooth conversion coming out for Best Nightmare there.
Oh, just gets hit by the heavy stun edge that time. You cannot be trading with the Future Arc once you have that shock state applied.
Yeah, Pilot was looking for the 6P, which does work in some situations based on some spacing and if the stain state or shock state is applied or not. In that case, a little bit late means Best Nightmare gets to run that pressure, forces Pilot to burst. Pilot having to spend a burst while down around feels extremely bad.
Yeah. And I kind of would like to see more 6P out of Pilot. Testament has one of the best 6Ps in the game. And you saw there, that was that frame one reversal overdrive there that was just a little bit too late as the defensive option. Yeah,
was trying to punish a throw whiff, but not quite in position to get that out fast enough. Pilot forced to burst early again, but does get screen position as the reward. Willing to back off. It's very, very like Romola style of playing, right? Where you like get the corner pressure, your block string doesn't work out, back off, see what they do, and react appropriately to try and keep the corner pressure. But Best Nightmare able to escape anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that style of gameplay works out well if you're winning the neutral.
Right.
Whereas so far, they're one apiece, but I definitely feel like Nightmare has had the better execution when it comes to the neutral. And a lot of that comes off of the Kai tools.
Absolutely. Very long range on both these characters, but Best Nightmare having that mobility to get in when there's an opportunity has been really, really effective. Right there, exactly. Being able to punish the whiff with the slide-in is really, really effective so far in this set.
Yeah, I mean, they call it the Scum Dipper for a reason.
There's a reason.
Got to be able to get in here. Shock state applied. Future Arc keeps the momentum going. Great 6P to keep the corner.
Stagger pressure is really good too. Another 6P, I think it's an OS actually, with a faultless defense. Blocks both sides. Means Best Nightmare gets to convert all the way into the corner. Can't quite pick up with the wall break, but run up. Kai is actually, in fact, a grappler, in case you weren't aware. So Best Nightmare using all the tools available. 2-1 for the set. Pilot fighting well, but Best Nightmare, I think you're exactly right, is really making better use of this neutral situations.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that couldn't go right for Kai Kisuke, especially in this matchup. Right, full screen stun edge applied, or shock state applied. There's that 6P though. That's exactly what we want to be seeing. That's insanity.
6H is a party starter, but doesn't have enough wall health to really make full use of it.
It's still quite a lot of damage.
It is.
Gets the throw. Positive bonus is going to give us another 50 tension. Doesn't even need it just yet.
Yeah. Getting hit by the Crow, in fact, does do damage.
Yeah. Oh, the jump D. It's an interesting mix-up. It's not quite Zato levels of like gravity defying slash mix-up potential, but still a pretty good one. Crow trade in there with the heavy stun edge.
Yeah, we do see that the heavy stun edge has that little bit more projectile health, so it does continue going even though it does clash. DP is a choice. That's fine. Run up 6P. There you go. Exactly what you were saying earlier. A little more liberal usage of that tool. one of the best in the game. If you're not representing it, you're not using your tool set to its maximum effectiveness.
Tried to backdash, but that stun dipper will follow you to the ends of the earth. Gets counter hit in the sky. This, not quite a wall break yet, but the next hit definitely will be. No, that's actually a great knowledge check from Pilot. Knew that it wasn't a shock straight food rod, so it was negative.
Best Nightmare finds the Scum Dipper. RC, though, doesn't land. The DP can't convert into a win. Has RC? No, Pilot couldn't close it out either. The stun edge.
And that was the Arbiter Sign attempt there from Pilot. We literally talked about it pre-show where it's I don't know if it's 30
startup.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly 30 frames. I know it's a lot though. And yeah, just not able to beat out the timing of the stun edge itself. But here we go. Gets the counter hit in the corner. Gets the wall break. 6H to break it.
Has meter. Throws out the little wispies.
No.
That's not going to land.
Yeah, you are already in the sky. Luckily, no punish for Pilot. Does get the Stain State applied. Gets the hit. Gets the confirm.
And we haven't seen the teleport used very much yet this time. We've seen it once or twice in neutral for mobility, but yeah, it's a cheap mix-up tool if you're representing it sparingly. Really effective there. Gets Pilot up to 2 apiece along with Best Nightmare.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that we've gone this far. It definitely seemed like Best Nightmare had a bit of an advantage, but here we are, final game. Jump out of the corner here, gets the connection with the Grave Reaper. Oh man, you're done. Yeah, has to burst out. If you get counter hit while Stain State's applied and you don't have burst, you basically just give the round out. Like this.
Yep, IAD straight over the stun edge is going to give Pilot the wall break with the super. Reapplies the Stain State. Walk
Safe
up.
jump.
Yep, safe jump is going to offer a way to continue pressure with the block string. I think that's blocked. Yeah, Pilot going to eat good right here. Reverse a super. Anything you can do, I can do better. One more for Pilot to take the game over Best Nightmare.
What a comeback, honestly. Best Nightmare had such an advantage for a lot of the set, with the Pilot definitely making the adaptations required. Sort of getting the read here on the stun edges, how they're coming out. Oh man, another huge 6H starter. Finishes it up, sends him to the wall with the Arbiter Sign. What a life lead.
And you can hear WPI in the background, or no, WSU rather, is super excited about this opportunity. One more. Push him off. Doesn't matter, still gets punished.
Yeah, it's not plus frames. It's not Zato's. So you do still have to respect it. Using those upward Grave Reapers. That crow went to the moon.
You know what? That crow has Pilot's back. You know what? If you say it, I'm going to do it. YRC expended. Back throw doesn't land. Best Nightmare needs one more direction. Pilot finds the jump and takes the set over Best Nightmare in a really close back and forth set. I like what you were saying earlier. Good comeback. Best Nightmare really seemed to have Pilot's number early on in the set, but little adaptation, really specifically to me, adaptations in the neutral, finding ways to jump over the stun edges was the
huge.
Really big one to me.
That was easily the biggest adaptation needed. And it did look like the Pilot didn't struggle a lot with that Grave Reaper interaction. He got hit by it a couple times, but sometimes it's just timing, right? Testament does use the Grave Reaper offensively to set up their own pressure to get the crow out there so that they can approach safely. But if you're not into that, if you're trying to find a way around it, like Pilot had to be, they made it work. They were able to find the tempo of those stun edges, get up and over, and it wasn't one hit, baby hit combos when they got those counter hits. They always had an answer. Yeah, they always had the conversion. So great stuff to them to making that adaptation. They're going to tie up the school set again.
Yeah, so I think that means next up we're going to got Swordcom going up against Kemi. Swordcom on Eno, and then Kemi on May. This is a rough matchup for Eno as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, May, the nightmare of Season 1 pretty much, did definitely get hit with the Nerf bat a little bit. Definitely not as strong as the character once was. But Massachusetts does kind of have a lot of good Mays.
And then the newest patch really sent May to the moon once they figured out some new combo routes. She has multiple tools to wall bounce that also do very little wall damage. So if they can get one big counter hit, you die straight up. Especially with Eno with a lower effective health.
Yeah, Eno, not a lot of guts, and spends a lot of time in the air, too, which kind of works for May. because a lot of Mei's moves have surprisingly good vertical if you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so definitely has to be careful because it's not full jump height that you're dashing as you know, right? There are a few times where you're able to get the dive kick in and it looks like, an actual jump in, but for a lot of these aerial approaches, you're not that far off the ground.
Maybe shoulder head height at most.
Yeah, and Mei hit you with 1-2H and you're going to the moon and your health bar's just evaporated.
Yeah, so probably going to see a lot of bursts coming out early. Probably going to see.
Oh yeah, 100%. Maybe even like round start burst, trying to get a gold or something. But you also have to be wary of the on the offensive side of Xeno because up dolphin is still a thing.
It is.
You do still have that reversal. Plus you got the metered reversals between Shamu. Does the funky backwards Wailord still work?
It does, yeah.
So I think last time I was here actually commentating Guilty Gear Strive, we did see that combo. And I forget who I was commentating with. It might have been Lennox. They weren't quite prepared for it.
Oh, no.
And so they were like...
And Lennox is loud, too.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was definitely great to see. So I'm excited for this matchup because, we do see some Mei's. The most notable in my head is Alex.
Yep. Not me, the other one.
Yeah. So he's gone to a lot of events in his time. He's one of the older members here in the community. And he's been playing Mei in every Guilty Gear ever. So
that's a lot of years.
Yeah. So definitely need to watch out for the Mei's from Massachusetts. Let's see if this is another one on that list. So Kemi going to be here on the player 2 side. As you can see, Swordcom player 1. And we're starting off.
We got Swordcom, we got Kemi. And, we've been talking a lot about how Mei has good tools in this matchup. It's not all doom and gloom for Eno either. Eno is still definitely one of those characters that can cheap you out if you're not ready for it.
I think it's pretty
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But
we'll see once we're in here. But yeah. I never really come in with a lot of faith for Enos in this matchup. But Swordcom could have played the matchup a ton, knows it in and out, and we'll get to see.
Letting the intros rock like true anime players. I respect it.
Is Mei a waterbender? Like, where did those puddles come from?
Oh, man, my headcanon just, went a full 180 right now.
So, rocking out.
I would take a mod for Mei that had her in, a Katara waterbending outfit. That'd be kind of neat. Here we go.
Here we go.
Button check? Question mark?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. We'll see what's going on in just a second.
Yeah, I don't see the players looking at each other. Oh, now they are.
Okay. Looks like maybe a small technical issue.
I think they're calling for a TO.
Yeah, looks like a TO is in order. See if Spencer is around.
I think it's Dink handling.
Is Dink on TO today?
Yeah, I think tech issues are Dink's
sense.
problem. But so we are actually running on PC, most notably. So that is something to maybe keep in mind. The game does run well on PC in my experience.
It does.
So I'm not saying that is the issue, but I think maybe they just weren't quite ready to let it rip. So here we are, trying it again. No intros this time. Dual 1, and they're pushing buttons. We're playing video games.
All right, let's go. 5P from Kemi trying to get out of that pressure. Works really well. Pushing you into the corner already. That's, 35% life off 2 hits?
Yeah, and his back throw basically could end the round. Up Dolphin always working out the red RC. That's it. The wall's not very healthy.
No, charge up that 6H, gets a good wall break. Empty
God.
Jump into the throw, the Justin Wong Season 1 special. And Swordcom kind of got deleted there.
Yeah, that's sometimes the nature of the beast. Counter hit comes in. Going to be able to get a good combo route going here. Now you got to block. Not a lot of defensive options here for Eno. And Mei pressure will continue until you find the option.
Yeah, the Dolphins will continue until morale improves. Instead, you get an RC and a whale. That's a hard knockdown. One more touch.
Jump?
Okay, 2K out of Swordcom, but the JP air-to-air. Kemi, dominating fashion, takes it over Swordcom so far.
I'm not going to say that's what I expected, but it's definitely what I expected.
I'm not going to say I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I wanted to be faithful. I wanted to be fair to our competitors. Because honestly, in Guilty Gear, it's a volatile enough game that character skill, or player skill rather, can outweigh most character discrepancies.
Yeah, and so one thing I want to touch on, I just really noticed, so Swordcom went through and rechecked all their buttons, and the input latency was set to 3. And so they immediately actually just brought that down to 0. So I don't know who changed it up to 3.
That's someone who's used to playing on PlayStation, upping it to match what they're used to, I bet.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
Maybe Swordcom, a PC player as well, because this is a complete 180 from game 1.
This is looking so much better. I think that's a wall slump. No, the
Goes to the break.
the Shroopy-Doo on the ground. The stroke, I believe, launches if you've been hit by the 2H already. So going to be around in favor of Swordcom there. Much, much better out of the gate than last game.
Yeah, like I said, really just a complete 180. Gets the knockdown, gets the overhead to work as well, forcing the burst finally out of Kemi, who's been blocking the entire game so far. Gets a counter hit and immediate burst.
Yeah, great call. You're already running so well on offense. Don't let Kemi get a chance to get started. Force into the other corner. We're going coast to coast already. Not quite a wall slump. Tried to get up there for the wall break. Was a little late. That's okay.
Oh, that's huge. But it got crossed.
You're dead. That's probably it.
Does get the air juggle.
Oh,
Not quite enough.
Doesn't have enough for the meter.
But here we go. Round start. Dolphin always going to work out. That was so late in the jump arc just to go with a 5P.
Yeah,
but it
Kemi's
works.
been making really good usage of the JP for aerial challenges. It's not something you see a whole lot against Eno specifically. You usually want to stay grounded. She's got so much mobility and so much tooling in the air, but Kemi willing to get up there with Swordcom. Swordcom saying, that's fine though. I'm still going to break this wall on you. I'm still going to start mixing you. Put this in this blender. Kemi bursts out.
Yeah, I mean, with 1 touch left in the game, had to burst. It's going to be an interesting series of events from here on out, though. Up Dolphin's goodly blocked. Oh, that stroke was almost really risky. You saw Kemi thinking it might have been the heavy version and was going to connect, but that's why we saw the FD come out. But with no intention to punish, they do find themselves heading into a game 3 tied up.
Yeah, Swordcom looking way stronger here. Overhead come out of Kemi. Doesn't matter. Swordcom gold burst after getting the hit on the screw drive kick. I love it.
Oh, the reversal going to work out? Or not work out, excuse me. And that's going to hurt. Doesn't decide to spin the meter. Maybe looking for a red RC Dolphin?
Or just a raw Dolphin. Try and get in. Keep yourself safe with the PRC. Catch this anchor on the jaw, Kemi.
That's insane.
Oh, so much damage.
What's wild is that Chemical Love just basically didn't exist.
Yeah,
like
no.
it came out and it was just kind of like framing there for Kemi to take advantage of.
I am willing to accept that you input it. I am not willing to accept it hitting me.
Yeah, I reject your reality too and substitute my own.
With more dolphins and orcas.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are not stopping. Red RC forcing the YRC option out of Swordcom here. Does get the hit finally.
Swordcom finds a counter hit, keeps the pressure rolling, has RC, there it is. Drops the conversion though. Only needed 1 or 2 more hits off that combo. The 6P on the jump in is going to make it happen. We've seen the jump in 5P several times already.
Yep.
Picking up on that, using that 6P to challenge.
Yeah, I mean, 6P, again, it has full upper body invulnerability.
Yep.
So you can use it as a universal anti-air against the entire cast. So gets the jump in. Chemical Love's going to work out that time. Sends him all the way back into the corner. Now you got to block all the Xeno pressure.
Backs off, they're going low. Back to neutral.
Oh my god.
Kemi, I like the movement choice. The up dolphin to get to the other side and an empty jump afterwards, but doesn't matter. Swordcom able to take it back for himself. There it is. Blocks out the reversal super. Kemi not quite able to find the hit. Means Swordcom takes it to 2-1. Swordcom looking very, very strong after playing on PC levels of input latency.
After changing the latency.
Crazy, right?
Select. But, I mean, Kemi definitely has to make a little bit more adjustments here. And honestly, it's all the defensive adjustments that they need, right? Because they're still getting good offensive opportunities. It's just that when they're forced to block, they're getting hit a lot.
Going to the air. Finds a big counter hit all the way to the corner. Swordcom looking to go to the air to jump out also. Finds the way, challenges.
Another stroke going to hit, though. This is a tough spot to be in. Kemi having to block.
Haven't seen the balloons represented a whole lot so far. It's been really up in your face all game for both these players.
Oh, the jump back works out, but again,
I love the burst.
Low.
I love the burst. You already had advantage. They were in the corner. You can run your mix. That is a hero burst I am happy to see.
It obviously worked out, but now that they don't have it, things are working very poorly for them. Big charge up on the normal there. keeps the pressure going. Up Dolphin gets underneath him.
Yeah, good use of the stroke to be able to get underneath the up dolphin. I like that. I also like Kenya was going for the up dolphin because Swordcom is so consistently trying to jump out of the corner. But layers upon layers here lead to Swordcom stealing that burst from Kemi. Chemical Love challenges the air approach. RC gets a wall break, it looks like. Nope, not going to be enough. Just a sliver more damage needed for Swordcom to take his set.
6P attempts, the back throw. Red RC. This is going to be big damage, but it's not going to kill. Doesn't even get the wall splat even. Just 5P Abare. Are you kidding me?
Take him to the aquarium. Kemi fighting back strong.
6P still working out there for Swordcom, though. Has the advantage, has everything in their pocket, too. Still has the burst available. Tries to get in with a stroke.
Finds the knockdown. Anchor's looking a little heavy there. I'm going to take you into the air instead. PRC keeps safe.
It hit, too. It hit.
It did.
So forces the burst out here. Chemical Love not going to connect that time. And look at how many 5Ps Kemi's just looping in there now. At any opportunity, they're throwing it out there for a defensive option.
Kemi looking to get back into neutral here after the wall break. There's that Abari option again. PRC trying to convert, wasn't quite able to, but after one more interaction, finds the closing out, 2 apiece. Strong looks from Kemi there,
Yeah.
much better than the last couple of games.
Like I said, the Abari 5Ps have done so much for them in interrupting. And I mean, May's 5P is the same speed as most of the cast, right? They're not blessed with a 3-framer.
Just a matter of applying it even better.
Volleyball just going to work that time. Does get knocked
it.
down, forced to guess. Again, defense, not Kemi's strong suit here.
High, low, high, high. Wall break, had super.
I don't-
the meter though. You don't need it.
I don't think Kemi's blocked a high this entire set. I just don't think it's existed. So now set point again for Swordcom.
Just needs one more. Chemical Love at round start. Good challenge. 5P, another good challenge. Burst spent from Swordcom. Using it early in game 2 is really, really good because it means you have all of game 2 and then game 3 as well to build it back up. Against May, especially important because you're expecting you're going to need a burst at some point if that damage gets rolling.
Yeah, especially now that you're forced to block in this corner. The Dolphins, again, not stopping out. Gets a chance, though. Again,
Cannot block high.
The overhead just always working out here for Swordcom. Finally gets hit by a low. Only needs a little bit more.
Stroke counter hit. Burst is expected from Kemi. That's a win on this round for Swordcom. Even if he doesn't take the game, took the burst. Kemi trying to approach. Stroke. One more hit. Stroke again. Swordcom, after a dominant game 1 from Kemi, fights back strong, taking it 3-2 for WPI. And I believe there should be one more player from WPI left.
Yes. For
Todd Howard, right?
Oh, from WPI.
Yeah.
Todd Howard.
Yeah, Todd Howard with the Soul, I believe, won over Frank on the Gold Lewis. I believe those are the only 2 left on those teams, which means it should be Todd Howard versus Kemi now.
This is where commentator Goldfish Brain comes in because I've completely lost track of the set score. In-game score, super easy. Production's got the numbers on screen for us, so all we need to know is read. But when it comes to the overall set score, we know it's 2-1. We just don't remember who the one was.
Well, we will find out very, very soon. And in the meantime, we can talk about another event we have coming up we actually haven't mentioned yet, meter management.
Yes.
We have a new event coming up. It's between New England Smash and FGC. It's a regional that's bought by Bay State Beatdown as well as Boston Blue Beat. 2 really fun names to say,
The
by the way.
BBBs?
Yeah, the BBBs. It could be Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, and Smash Ultimate, both singles and squads and Ultimate there.
Yes.
And so that's going to be at June 10th in Hanover. So really, really exciting kind of crossover. We love doing these crossover events. I've been doing them for years. Like actually, the first event I ever worked with Boston Blue Beat was when
crossover?
was a crossover with Tekken. Back when Iron Fist Fridays were running. And Spencer was like, hey, want to run Tekken? And we were like, yeah, I do. So long story history of trying to do some community building with other communities around New England. So if you're in the area, play, again, Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, there we go, or Smash Ultimate, come on down Hanover on June 10th going to be a great time.
Yeah, I mean, Street Fighter 6 obviously going to be the hottest thing on the planet
Going
that
to be
week.
so excited to see how that goes.
Very excited. I know that historically we've had some pretty solid Street Fighter players come out of the region, and with all of the insanity that has been going on in the area when it comes to Street Fighter, I'm very excited to see what the final tally for that is. So here we go. It is Todd Howard, you were right there, going up against Pilot. So Soul Bad Guy versus Testament here. Definitely an interesting matchup. And I don't know, it's going to take a lot of work from Pilot, I think, because this is not like that Kai matchup. It's not going to be, trying to find your way around fireballs. You're not going to have, interesting setups that you can play around with. And Soul Bad Guy is going to punch you.
Yeah, Soul Bad Guy is not as honest as Kai, and Todd Howard is not as honest as most Soul players.
No.
This guy wants to kill you in the weirdest way possible.
Listen, he DP'd on Frank's wake up.
Yeah.
It was Frank's wake up, and he still got DP'd.
And he was right. It's ridiculous. Pilot finding advantage already and losing it as soon as I say it, because, that's how commentary goes.
Does get the throw to set up the Stain State applies. Gets the hit, keeping it burst safe with the overdrive. So we are going to get a safe jump and a Stain State on the other side of this wall. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yep, Stain is popped already. One of the great things about the round start. Heavy Mob Cemetery again.
Not a round start. I'm surprised Pilot spent the meter. They were far enough away to actually just jump it.
I think
they must have been pushing a button.
Must have been pushing a button. Only reason for that.
6H off of a 5K. Easily blockable, and forces to burst.
Counter hit favors Pilot in that exchange. Todd Howard going down around. Todd Howard already up to the same shenanigans, which I'm super in favor of. That makes it real fun to watch.
Yep. Stain State does lose it as soon as you get hit as Testament, so it is canceled that time. Far Arbiter Sign going to work out. Oh, that's a pickup.
Nostrovia on deck means the hit confirm leads to a hard knockdown. Stain State reapplied. We saw how much effect Pilot could get off of this safe jump last round as well. Ooh, but the back throw for Todd Howard reversing the momentum. Uno reverse card coming out of the deck.
Yeah, I mean, the Pilot tried to get a little bit tricky there. PRC because the throw didn't actually connect. And Todd Howard's getting a little bit predictable with these throw attempts.
Yeah, the wilding out works for a while, and it works because it's a surprise tactic, right?
Yeah.
You're not expecting it, and it's kind of like the Protoss rushing with cannons in StarCraft 2. It works for a while, but the third time in the set, you're not really getting away with it as much anymore.
That said, isn't Protoss actually fairly successful, even though everybody knows that's the gambit?
Well, yeah.
That's one of the things is surprise works, but if you're just too strong, that also still works.
It's true. Todd Howard trying to use those strong buttons, getting in with the throw from Pilot.
Oh, the Grave Reaper, too meaty, didn't quite work out. The 5K connects, Arbiter Sign.
How many frames of startup is too much? Not this much, apparently. Air throws scoop you out. Pilot,
I love that air throw, too.
It's one of my favorites in the game, along with Angi's.
Definitely.
Pilot, I think 3 in a row for Pilot right now?
Yeah, 3 rounds in a row.
Oh, 2H is a party starter on counter hit. Full wall carry. That's a cool 50% damage for Pilot right there.
They didn't get to break it with the Crow, though, so no Stain State to start the round with. They do get the positive bonus, which is a huge opportunity. And look at the pressure they're creating. The Crow killed them.
I like that DP. You knew Pilot was going to try and walk up for something. PRC keeps you safe. That could have been a much bigger punish. Pilot's happy with that.
Yeah, especially since they just immediately go back on the offense, right?
Yeah.
Not a biggest link there off of the Crow connection, but Gold Burst. That's a Tyrant Rave. That hit! The second part hit! Pilot, what are you doing?
Pilot, no! Run up with the tick throw. Todd Howard gets on the board. Pilot saying, all right, I'll give you that one. I see your game.
That's unfortunate, to say the least, because I know Pilot meant to punish.
Right.
Again, Testament buttons kind of slow. They're not blessed in that category, but they do fairly well in the damage category, as we're seeing right now.
Had a super. I think that would have been enough. Didn't quite get there in time, though. Howard using the movement to scoop Pilot into the corner. Good
Gets the
burst.
burst.
Get out of the corner.
Oh, no All right, no-ish punish. I don't really know how to call that one.
Limited punish.
Yeah, 2K2D.
RC.
Again, keeps it safe with the roaming cancel, though.
Plus frames, 5K. Pilot, I love the way they structured their game plan there to be at, right? You knew the reversal was going to get you into the driver's seat with the RC backup no matter what. Either you won the game or you won the exchange and you get to run your game plan. Ooh, running your game plan indeed. Big damage push into the corner for Pilot, but the counter hit on the volcanic vortex.
That's another big counter hit for Todd Howard to take advantage of, but it already forced the burst out. Pilot. I said that wasn't going to happen.
You said it wasn't going to happen. 2H counter hit, this time with meter to back it up. Sends out the imps, send out the gang. They got your back. Get that wall break, get that stain state, get that safe jump. We've seen it every time. There's no reason not to. Todd Howard, just block. You know what's coming.
Yeah. It actually worked out that time, and now it is set point for Pilot, who apparently got the read on the shenanigans. Upwards Grave Reaper going to be a good starter. Cakes into the corner. Okay.
The throw out of the Bandit Bringer.
That was a Fafnir.
A Fafnir, yep. No, you're right.
That's
you're
what's
right.
even crazier, because if you guess the timing wrong on that,
You blow up.
you actually lose the round. Upwards Arbiter going to connect. The RC trying to close it out, but it is only a matter of time. 6H and the low sign comes in. Might have been chip even at that point, because that is the thing in this game.
Yep. Exceptionally strong showing from Pilot there.
Yeah.
Quick 3-0. I think Todd Howard only got one round in that set, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, because Todd Howard, apparently, Pilot got the read on the shenanigans exactly like you said, because Todd Howard's been throwing them out all day.
Yeah.
And this was the first time that I saw someone not play his game. So
Yeah.
far, Todd Howard has been doing a good job of forcing other people to come to his level, right? To wild out with him.
Well, I mean, he's kind of been against characters that do that, right?
Yeah.
Like we saw the Chip to start it off. Chip likes to do shenanigans and be wild and crazy, and he got 3-0'd.
Gold Lewis, shenanigans incarnate.
Yeah, and that was a 3-2, 3-2, 3-1,
3-2.
something like that. And this time, Testament, who is a very structured character,
Much more methodical.
takes it 3-0. So very interesting scenario there, and I believe that means you're going to get Pilot up against Swordcom.
Yeah.
Basically for the set, right? The overall score set, because this would be, it'd be the OCV, one character carry, or that's OCC. But
Character victory.
Yeah, and Pilot, who in their loss, I would say looked maybe the weakest for their team. And then immediately comes out at 3-0's the sole bad guy. So I'm excited to see this next matchup, because it is going to be Eno Testament.
Yeah, and I think that's a much more even match for Testament than we've seen for a lot of other games so far.
Yeah.
For Eno, rather, because there was an event a couple months ago where I saw this matchup, and there was a really cool interaction I noticed that I liked a lot, which was Chemical Love can punish throwing out Gravediggers.
Yeah.
The Gravedigger, if you're traveling along the bottom of the screen, Chemical Love gets up off the ground a little bit and hits over where the fireball goes. So it's really a neat little piece of counterplay.
It's basically a better version of the stun edge that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
For that regard. And so one thing I do really like Testament in this matchup for, though, is the 6P.
Yes.
Because there's so much of Eno being airborne. And really the best grounded option you got to be aware of is the Stroke the Big Tree, which isn't that scary these days. It used to be scary when it was plus on block, but they nerfed it because that was too strong. And so now a lot of what you have to worry about from Eno, you have to worry about the triple overheads and stuff like that. But if you block them, or even just don't block them and just hit the first one with a 6P, then you can really kind of take advantage of it, because the Testament 6P, again, it is one of the best in the game.
Yeah,
So,
undoubtedly.
Definitely something to be wary of there. But again, it's another matchup where there aren't really any defensive options. So, we're going to have the one-frame reversals from both of them, or overdrive reversals, excuse me, which require tension. But the tension, again, is so much better offensively, whether it's the Succubi for the Stain State wall break, or even just the Roman cancels from Eno to keep the pressure going. So it'll be very interesting, the defensive choices from both players, I think.
Yeah, I think to me, that's very, very true, and also going to be very much determined by how neutral plays out. because these are two characters that once they get a neutral win can really run away with it. But it's Guilty Gear Strive. That applies to most people. But
it's a Guilty Gear game.
Yeah, it's a Guilty Gear game. You're right. So that's going to be, I think, what I'm looking for in this set is how does neutral go and how does the meter and resource management convert out of there?
Yeah, and I mean, there is, even though with Chemical Love being good at like that medium long range that Testament kind of doesn't have a lot of options at. Once they get closer to each other and we start getting in maybe 6H range of Testament, then I think they're going to have a bit of an advantage because 6H is not a low-profilable move, right? Like we've seen the Eno players all day today, all of the Eno players using stroke to get under things. Mm-hmm. And what we just saw from Pilot was a lot of 6H. They really do love that to start options with, and that will get exploded, or that will explode.
Stroke gets blown up by 6H.
That's what I was trying to finish my sentence with.
These things are hard sometimes. It's not hard. The decision to check out tomorrow, April 16th, is going to be BostonBlueBeat's favorite game, Blaze Blue. Their online series Burst Limit has their grand finals tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's
Blaze
really
Blue,
exciting.
Blaze Blue is the reason BostonBlueBeat exists.
Yep.
So it makes sense for them to have a big. Yeah, it would make sense for them to have the big finish. That is going to be tomorrow.
Yep.
What time is that tomorrow?
5 p.m. Eastern.
5 p.m. Eastern.
You'll find it right here again, twitch.tv/BostonBlueBeat. They'll have a Matcherino, which, by the way, we also have today, in case you're bored. Go check that out. Maybe do some sponsor quests. Maybe claim a couple codes. That will be a good time. And then come back tomorrow for that. We got plenty going on here in New England, especially at the BostonBlueBeat stream. It's a good time to be a fighting game fan.
Oh, definitely. I mean, not only just today physically, because we're here at the monthly, but also just this era of games coming out are fantastic. Obviously, we talked about Street Fighter 6 earlier. Beyond that, we also have Grand Blue Rising making a comeback later this year, which I'm actually crazy excited for that.
Our friend Lennox, we were talking about earlier, the Grand Blue master of BostonBlueBeat crowd. That guy loves that game.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a lot of really good Grand Blue players.
We do.
We have Draken and Lennox, which I think if we're looking at recent results, Draken does have the better one, placing within top 8 at East Coast Throwdown last year, whereas Lennox was, I believe, 1 game short of top 8.
Yep.
But enough about them. We're here for the two schools. We have WSU versus WPI on screen right now, Pilot versus Swordcom, Testament versus Eno, and I missed it they're on the right side.
This is also the last game between these two schools right now. Winner is going to take home the prize for their school, take home the pride for their school.
Yep, and so the names are backwards, chat. So it is Pilot on the player 2 side, rocking the Testament, whereas Swordcom, again, on that Eno, getting the mix going for themselves, making it work out. We saw a low, and then a high, and then a burst.
Yep, the Fireball game coming out from Pilot, as to be expected. That's one of Testament's key advantages in this matchup, is that space control. Swordcom showing off the key advantage that Eno has in that mix. Finds a dash up all the way. Wasn't a safe jump, though. Pilot reversed momentum.
Okay.
Can't land the crow yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, the lack of Grave Reapers being on the screen means that it is difficult to actually get that Stain State application, but now that it's applied, you cannot get the hit, gets the knockdown, and it was gets for game at that point.
And that movement coming out from Swordcom at the end of that game, navigating around all of the clutter that Pilot wants to put on the screen. Very impressive coming out of Swordcom.
Yeah, definitely looking very comfortable in the matchup, which is not always a thing. I know that Testament has seen a lot more play since their release, and that is due to system changes, game changes, balance changes. But they're still sometimes a tough character just to overwhelm. But we're seeing this again from Swordcom. They just cannot be blocked.
Yeah, overdrive to break the wall, plenty of damage. 1-0 for Swordcom, and Pilot didn't even necessarily do anything really wrong there.
No,
but Swordcom just looked so comfortable, used that mobility really, really well to navigate around Pilot's threats. And already Swordcom out to an advantage in this first round already with the position. And Pilot back against the wall.
Pretty much every knockdown has resulted in a meaty note as well, so you're always kind of guessing if it's a high or a low. So far, Pilot has guessed correctly when it was throw, but the high-low setup is definitely what's kind of their demon right now.
Swordcom finding a couple lows there, finds a high this time. Has meter to back up the next hit. Pilot has to expend the YRC as does Swordcom.
Swordcom, though, actually keeping the tempo going. Nice 5K interrupt from Pilot, though.
Yeah, the dive has a really interesting RPS around it. We see the 5K as an answer to if there's no follow-up. Swordcom, though, unfazed, running the Vortex again. The JH really, really dominant from Swordcom so far. Pilot going to need to find an adjustment to make.
Yeah, this is not a fun matchup, I should say, because it is a lot of blocking for Testament, but once you can get that side going for yourself, then maybe you can keep the tempo going. That's insane that counter hit like that.
Yeah, the hitbox interaction was a little nutty. Pilot spends the burst, but doesn't matter at all. Swordcom ready for it. One more mix, finds it. That's 4 straight for Swordcom for a 2-0.
It's not a great matchup.
It's looking rough.
It's a little rough here. Pilot definitely not playing as well as they would like, I imagine. And the mix-up game from Swordcom has been really tough to deal with.
There we go. Pilot forcing a burst out of Swordcom. Swordcom already back in the driver's seat. That mobility getting all the way up in Pilot's face so quickly. I don't know if Pilot knows what to do to get out of that.
What's really crazy is that Swordcom is opting into the shortest combos possible.
Yes.
That result in a knockdown. Because they want to just immediately make you have to guess again. Because it gets so frustrating when you guess wrong once, twice. At the 12th time, you're almost giving up.
Yeah, Swordcom's playing a very mental stack-heavy game for sure.
Okay, another good overdrive reversal coming out there from Pilot. Going to work out. First round for them.
That is so important, reversing that momentum even a little bit to slow Swordcom down, especially when your opponent's on match point, can be pivotal. Getting that counter hit, good 45%, carrying Swordcom back toward the corner. Importantly, carrying Pilot out of the corner too.
Gets the OTG Crow, surprisingly enough. Went for the charged up Grave Reaper.
Swordcom looking to try and get out of the position in the back of the corner by trying to stroke under the Crow. Didn't quite happen, got sniped out by the bird anyway.
It's got quite a big lollipop, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot in this game that kind of lollipops at the end, but
I love that.
The Crow's very deceptive. For those of you who don't know what I mean by lollipop, it has a straight line, and then kind of the hitbox kind of explodes at the end.
Yeah.
So it happens in a lot of fighting games. A lot more than you probably think, yeah. So if you're getting caught by something that doesn't look like it should, that's probably why.
Pilot finding a lot more footing in this round start than before. Much slower of a game until Swordcom finds his counter hit.
That was the 6H attempt from Pilot. We mentioned how much they love starting combos with it, but, you know, a lot quicker than you might guess. That's a block. Yeah.
Yep. Good adaptation from Swordcom. Got hit by that once, said once was enough. Pilot, I respect going for it again. It's been a while, been a lot of mixes since then, but Swordcom on point. Managing to block it out, getting to set point. Vacuuming in with a 2H.
6H connects. Pro went a little high than Pilot would have preferred, but here comes the mix game again. Going to connect with the knockdown. High, low. Guess where I'll go. Gets another one.
Both have a meter.
Oh my god.
Pilot has burst, spends the YRC first. I like that choice. Keep the burst for when you really need it. 2K2D. Start off that mid-range pressure. Try and keep Swordcom at bay. Goes for a teleport instead of a 6P on the advance. Burst has to be used there.
Sending out these Grave Reapers. The Crow interrupting the dive kick, interesting enough. YRC's the 5K attempt here from Pilot, who has to guess for the set right now.
That'll do it. Swordcom 3-1. Interestingly, after Pilot used the Swordcom used the YRC, that counts as a hit. And so we saw there was a blue beat, which was a non-natural combo, because your opponent wasn't blocking, after the YRC. After the YRC, can either go high or low, 2K2D or hover dash JH.
Yeah.
Again, you're put into a mix because just used yellow RC. That's insane. And just because they guessed wrong off of, using YRC, they lost the set. That is such an absurd situation.
That's guilty gear.
It is. Look, this game is messed up, and that's why we love it.
Yes, it is a heck of a lot of fun when you get to play it offline. And so that does mean we should have one more head-to-head coming up in terms of schools. We got Dom there coming through. And if my brain is working, it means we should get...
SNHU and WSU.
Yeah.
I believe.
Wait. Maybe.
They're the only two that haven't played yet.
Yeah. So you're probably right there, which, again, would be pretty interesting. We'd see Chip versus Gold Lewis, I imagine. Eno again versus Testament. And then Bridget versus May, if things go in the order they are currently set as, which every single one of those I think is a pretty solid matchup to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe not to play. Maybe the players are like, man, I got to do this again. I got to play another Eno.
You got to play another Testament?
Yeah.
No, it would be just the same Testament, actually.
Well, it'd be another Testament for the Eno player because they...
No, there's only one Testament in the whole lineup.
In the whole set, but they haven't played yet.
That's true.
But again, we talked about it earlier. There's not a lot of Enos or a lot of Testaments on ladder, so you may.
Wait. I just noticed that's interesting. The only repeated character between any player in this whole Waseda is Eno. There's 2 Enos. Everybody else is a unique one of.
Which is kind of bananas if you think about it.
It is.
Which actually, honestly, our region is pretty diverse character-wise if you think about it.
Which is also kind of funny because it's notably lacking in 2 of the characters that were considered the strongest for a long time in Happy Chaos and Ramlethal. We have a Ramlethal. We have Kenny, who has tried playing Happy Chaos as specifically a counterpick to Nagoriyuki.
When I think
which
Happy Chaos,
didn't come long.
When I think of Happy Chaos, I think of Kite, honestly, who most people know for Dragon Ball.
Right.
Didn't enjoy the game mechanics of Strive long enough to stick with it, but they were a pretty solid Happy Chaos player. But yeah, I can't even think of any others in our region.
I think that's it. I know like Kenny tried it for a bit, but it didn't stick.
But Happy Chaos is just too good.
Yeah, well, these things happen.
But so heading in here, it is going to be SNHU versus WSU. And it looks like we're going to be starting in the same order that we were kind of just guessing at. It is Banana Man versus Ferenc. So it is going to be Chip versus Gold Lewis. Now, we kind of talked about Chip versus Soul earlier as we head into the button check here. And that was a day one matchup, right? That was they both were in the starting roster. Chip exploded. That was the game.
Right.
Gold Lewis was the first DLC character, and he just kind of re-ran that same train onto Chip.
Yep.
So, like I said, this is going to be a button check here for these 2 players. Gold Lewis, is going to have the same downsides that we kind of mentioned earlier. Very immobile, only has the single jump. Does have the cursed air dash with the BRC attack, but it's always interesting to see this matchup because Chip spends a fair amount of time in the air, and the Behemoth Typhoons will find you.
And conversely, Chip has such good ways to whiff punish. If you do miss a BT, they have a lot of recovery. So if you're not getting the guard crush effect, then it's really easy for someone to get in and start running their game plan on you. So it's going to be very, very dependent on who can get the first hit or bait out the first hit. So I'm curious to see how that ends up playing out. It's I think a little bit in Gold Lewis's favor on an average skill level. On an upper skill level, I think Chip has a little bit of an advantage just if you can use the mobility correctly, but it's still asking a pretty high skill level from the Chip player. So I'm going to give it probably at our local level about an even split.
Yeah, and I mean, the life totals definitely do matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Gold Lewis has a fairly high effective health pool, can survive quite a bit. And we mentioned it earlier when we saw the Uzumaki Barrage at a Chip. The scaling does add up quite a bit. And I mean, look at that. 2 hits and we're actually at a life deficit here for Banana Man.
Look at that Chip damage too.
Yeah, not the character. We're talking about the life bar on block.
Yeah.
Like, it is evaporating.
Plus frames.
JD, another great button here for Gold Lewis. The whip
no.
DP, no punish though.
That's a big deal, but Strength finds the win anyway. Banana Man saw that DP whip. He's feeling a little something about that. There's the whip punish.
Yeah, that is the far slash here from Chip. Did receive some buffs. He actually just punched him out of the command grab. That's crazy.
Do it again. Punch him again.
Oh, he's going to keep punching him. That's just the name of the game.
That's the Gold Lewis plan right there.
Went for the shoulder, interesting enough. I think Chip's over him? No. Lots of vertical hitbox on that. No churn noticeably, though.
Yeah. Another GGT will close it out. Frank pretty commanding there. Banana Man not quite knowing how to navigate the neutral. Frank able to just kind of run whatever he wants after getting that one hit, which is the story of Gold Lewis for time immemorial.
I mean, that's one of the things is like, you know, Gold Lewis players hopefully know the difference in the Behemoth Typhoons.
Yeah.
As your opponent, it is very difficult to know exactly which one you're getting hit with in the moment, right? Like, if you went and watched the VOD, you'd be like, oh, that was, you know, 3, 2, 1, or what? I don't even know. But, like, in the moment, as you're blocking it, it's hard to know the difference.
It's a lot of character knowledge that's demanded every time you're going up against it.
Oh, and you just got picked up out of the sky. Tried to get fancy with it, but the burst from Banana Man keeps him safe.
There we go,
6K.
Double command throw. PRC to get a little bit more frames.
Interesting that the 6K was fast enough that there was no response from Frank.
Right.
Because he was able to get thrown right afterwards, which isn't... You don't see that often because 6K is not a safe button. So that's why most of the time you only really see it when there is RC to back it up.
Or, apparently, when you're trying to run it as a meaty.
True. You just throw them, I guess.
Yeah, who knows? Gold burst for Frank is a big deal. Gold Lewis uses meter so well. Whip does come through, though. Banana Man finds the punish with the command grab. RC.
Might be enough, yeah.
Just barely, yeah. The JK with the combined guaranteed unscaled wall damage. It's us to 1 apart. Banana Man looking much better there.
Yeah, Banana Man definitely made the comeback happen. Immediately crushed the life bars of Frank. And now that they're tied up 1 apiece, there's definitely some fear here for Frank as they get command grabbed again. Meaty 6K gets the burst out, but...
The jump in BT. Very scary situation for Banana Man. Jumps out, but right back into it. Jumps out. Falling JD gets Banana Man a hit.
Oh, another command grab. Interesting. I wouldn't say that was worth it.
I wouldn't either. It was neat. It looked cool. Jumping again.
One thing I will note for Frank here is that we're not seeing as much movement and options as we did in their earlier set against Todd Howard. They do seem to be kind of laying into the flow chart of just trying to be impressive in general, whereas against like the Soul Bad Guy player, they were like a lot of time in the air, going for a lot of JDs, you know, things like that, trying to keep it, you know, kind of active. Whereas right now they're just kind of playing a lot of grounded games.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Banana Man is spending a lot of time in the air, using those 3 jumps, the J2K and the Alpha Blades, to great effect. There we go, though. Frank willing to meet him up in the air with the Behemoth Typhoon. Banana Man down to just a sliver. Frank finds a counter hit. Put against him, though. Banana Man looking for a burst, finds it, but cannot block it. Both with a bar apiece.
Oh,
Frank finds the jump in on the JD.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty impactful counter hit, but the Rekka whiffed. You're in the air, you're blocking.
Can you punish? Not quite.
He didn't block? I don't know what just that was. Okay. Counter hit, that should be enough, but no confirm.
He couldn't confirm it either with RC or with the overdrive. Banana Man, look at him on the player camera. He knows it too. He lost an opportunity, which means Frank 2-1.
Yeah,
Banana Man's playing well enough to be able to win this set. Just needs to clean it up just a little bit.
What really stings about that whiff to confirm there is they had 100 tension.
Yeah.
They could have really done anything they wanted to at that point.
They could have RC'd wrong and then corrected it with a correct RC and still won.
Exactly.
6H counter hit forces the burst out of Frank.
Yeah, that would have been pretty healthy damage even against a character like Gold Lewis. Gets it
again.
No burst available this time. Another counter hit. That's always rough, trying to block the Rekkas. Doesn't get the correct confirm, though. Meaty drone. Try to DP out, but the trade is worth it.
The Banana Man seems flustered, dropping a lot of these conversions. Frank just shy of a bar. Banana Man has one to his name. Stagger pressure. JP with the rising air-to-air. What a call-out.
Beat out the command grab that time. Went over. You saw Frank try and punish it, I believe, with a back fist. but not fast enough.
Now there we go. Did actually miss a confirm there again, but able to pick it up with another counter hit. So Banana Man's on the board in this match. Frank trying to jump in. Banana Man challenging on the landing. Ooh, Frank couldn't find all of the damage there. Banana Man could have been in real trouble there.
Approaching.
You need to move. If you keep giving more and more space to Golden Lewis, he's going to put you in the corner. You're going to be in for a world of hurt.
Okay. No punish on the whip. Alpha Blade, which works out.
Oh,
Not again.
No, this
Not
is going to
again.
be so much damage.
That's kills.
It's enough. He churned it all the way. Frank needs one more to take the set. Banana Man laughing. He knows he got hit by that.
It did 55% of the life bar.
It's the chip story. Like when you play chip, you sign up for exactly that happening.
Yeah.
Not this though. The back throw incident coming through.
Does get counter hit, forced to burst as well, but Frank still has theirs available. Actually decides to use it. That was silly.
It was something.
Tries to get the hit. Banana Man winning this one in the opportunity moment.
There we go. Get the wall break. Chip uses positive bonus so well.
Oh, yeah.
He loves having the extra damage, but he's going to get 2K down onto this. On the other side, he finds the cross-up, so Banana Man tying the set up 2-2. That was a precarious position. Frank was that far away from having that.
If you'd waited a second, would have worked.
Yeah.
But we do have it tied up 2 apiece, and this is just the first match between these two schools.
Yep.
So we definitely still have plenty more Guilty Gear ahead of us. And we still have a full game here. We do need to find out who takes it 3-2. First hit going to Banana Man. Gets a second hit as well.
And gets the burst out of Frank.
Oh, he tried to 6P, but Banana Man went low.
Banana Man getting put in the coffin of doom, but finds a way out.
Nice tech. Buys a little bit more space for themselves, but the shurikens in the air, they're kind of just like annoyances.
Yeah, they're there to like cancel the animation from miniguns and Behemoth Typhoons in progress and to stall air pressure a little bit. Doesn't
quite enough.
find the conversion with the meter.
I think Frank dropped the stick.
Yeah.
And then the run up 6K. But yeah, I think Frank had actually took their hand off the controller right there, getting the opportunity to punish the whipped Rekka and then not is a tough spot to be in as Gold Lewis.
Yep, and after a very back and forth set, we're back and forth here as well. Banana Man forced to spend the burst. One round away for Banana Man, but isn't finding any footing in this one. Frank has meter, doesn't have to spend it though. Knocks Banana Man too far away. 6K. 5D, we're going in the air.
We got burst though, so we can survive. Does have to spend it immediately because those sequences.
RC? No, I don't think you can RC, can you?
No, you can. We saw it earlier. I don't know if you would have gotten anything after it because it would have been a PRC.
Yeah.
That's the command grab.
Not enough damage, but can get Frank into the corner. Frank has a bar. Look for the reversal super. With punish.
He's betting the set. He's betting the set.
He has backup RC. He had backup RC. He was safe the entire time with a full bar, one apiece. Set point for both players.
Tries to get in there with the JD.
Woo!
That was a shuriken attempt. It got blown up. He's finally getting the read there as he needs to. Gets
Jumping in with the BT because it's very, very active. Really hard for Banana Man to challenge it shy of maybe a 6P.
Rekka working out there for Banana Man.
Frank's looking for it again.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
Got
Dropped
the
the conversion.
Yeah, he wanted a Behemoth after that, but got what he got. The run-up 5Ps coming in from Banana Man. Still gets perfectly timed on the back fist.
Burst is spent. One more touch for Frank. Look at the minigun.
It's fully charged up.
Oh, it didn't land. BRC tech? No. The JD falling for Banana Man. Frank spends the burst. A bar apiece here.
He had spent the RC too. I'm really surprised he didn't block the burst. Gets the back throw.
Throw on the landing lag means Frank takes the set over Banana Man. Very back and forth, a little volatile of a matchup means it could have gone in either player's direction without question.
Yeah, at really any moment that entire set. So Frank ends up taking first blood for WSU, which It's obviously huge coming into this. You know, they do still have a lot more to go. We're going to have Eno versus Testament in the form of Anti versus Pilot next. And we did just watch that matchup, and it didn't quite go Pilot's way.
Yeah, everything we said before still applies. It's rough out here sometimes. You just got really good tools to counteract a specific character, and that just happens to be the case with Eno versus Testament. So we'll see if Pilot learned anything from that set that they want to bring forward into this one. Maybe see if anything changes. In the meantime, Matcherino is still available. We got plenty more action in Guilty Gear and beyond tonight, so if you feel like helping us out, you can contribute directly, either with donations or I think we probably still got a few codes left. Still early in the day.
Yeah, it's still early. This is the first, tournament of the
block.
day. Yeah, the first tournament block of the day. So I guarantee you we'll still have some Matcherino codes available. So ! Matcherino in the chat. Click the links there, and all you got to do is sign in with a social media account of pretty much any variety.
Yeah, pretty much anything. Even BattleNet is on there?
Line is on there.
Is it?
Yeah, Line's on there.
I had no idea.
You can sign in with your Line account and claim codes, which I imagine is for our international friends. As far as I'm aware, Line's not commonly used in the States.
Nope.
I have used it, but it was with, again, international friends.
That'll do it, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can sign in with Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Line, BattleNet, Twitch,
YouTube.
Which you probably have a Twitch account since you're watching on Twitch.
Yeah.
Granted, we might have some lurkers. I'm sure that there are people that watch the show that don't have a Twitch account. Yeah, Mom, use the coupon code.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Here we go.
Sounds like we got our players loading up for our next game.
Anti versus Pilot. We were correct in our thinking. So let's see. Yeah, like you said, let's see if Pilot has made some adaptations. They're going through the music list right now.
I respect that. Music choice is important.
See, like, I used to think it was memes, but one of the tournaments we were running, a player lost and was like, I cannot believe you picked that song the entire set. I couldn't concentrate.
That's so funny.
And then they got the double Jeopardy run back later on, and the kid that had won played the same song.
Yes.
So we load in, and then I see Discord message. Can we remake? Can we get a different song? T.O. was like, no, run it.
Look, it's in the game. It's baked into the systems. This is just adequate mental warfare up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Play without sound if it's that important to you. But here we go. Round start. Not a button check either.
Nope. This is just swinging.
Swanging does have to get mixed.
This is the new Bedman song. Nice. Monty out to a cool 65-70% lead already.
I do wonder if we're going to get a Bedman today, later in the Guilty Gear bracket.
That'd be sick.
I would be sick. I'm very excited to see how that character develops.
Yeah,
As
the character needs developing, too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a very technical character.
There's so much going on with that character, just like there's so much going on here. Bursting the 6H only to get hit by the crow.
Didn't matter, though.
Yeah,
The
it was
Abari
not the end of the
2P.
world.
Yeah. Monty's still managing to take a set. Only down some burst meter. That's okay. You got a round to lose to build that meter up anyway. Pilot coming out early in round 2. Much better. Doesn't have enough for the meter, but does apply the crow. Get that stain state running post reset.
Yeah.
Falling JK
Off
the
of
stain.
Off of the same, or the, what's the word I'm looking for? The same spot teleport. They teleported in the air right above them, which...
Teleport feint.
Yeah. Which, we mentioned earlier, we didn't see a whole lot of teleport from Pilot. So now that they're adding it to their mixed-up repertoire, it's really nice to see. No stain state, so the Arbiter doesn't link.
A lot of Pilot's crows end up whiffing. It feels like a little bit of situational awareness that's not quite active. A little mindfulness that needs to be paid attention, but finds the win off the 2K. 1-0 in favor of Pilot. Pretty quick. Auntie definitely showed life there, but Pilot was much stronger in this matchup than previously against Eno.
Very interesting that the Testament win screen is louder than anything else that we've heard today.
Oh my god, it is pain.
I don't know why that is, but we're going through the wall with the stain state application here. Gets the safe jump as well. Forced to block is Auntie. Oh, now they're forced to die.
I mean, look, sometimes you get hit with stain when you're at 40% life and you're like, all right, here's my stick.
Yeah, I'll see you next round.
It finished me.
I want my left bar back.
Clashing on the lows. Pilot finding a counter hit with the Gravedigger. And a 6P for Auntie finds a counter hit in response. I did not know Chemical Love would eat the Crow. Interesting interaction there in favor of Auntie, but a Crow applied for Pilot afterwards. Clock sustain, hit confirmed into the overdrive.
So I don't know if it ate the Crow, or if it just, because it hit Pilot, it canceled the Crow.
Oh, did it hit Pilot? I could have missed that. That's very true. Throw for Pilot finds that last bit of damage. 2-0. Very, very dominant so far for Pilot here.
Yes, this is kind of looking like when we saw Pilot versus Todd Howard. Came out swinging, got pretty much everything they wanted, and that's actually a crazy starter there. The 2H with the twirl there, that is, I think, easily Testament's longest startup move, but when it connects, it is a party.
Yeah, that and 6H are dangerous tools to get hit by. Wake up throw for Pilot brings him to match point against Auntie.
Does need a little bit more. Has their own burst still, too, which is actually really huge in this matchup.
It is.
But I think one thing to note between Auntie and Swordcom, not just like because they're on the defense most of the time, but when Auntie has had the offensive opportunity, the cycle of gameplay has been very different. I mentioned it when Swordcom was on the screen. They were going for like micro combos just to get the knockdown so they could set up with meaty note. Let's see if Auntie can do. They didn't even pretend to note.
Goes for the throw out of the stroke. YRC sends Auntie, because he was in the air, back substantially farther. Apply the Crow. Zoning with the Beast. 5D.
Gets the dust. Tried to get it out of him. Auntie, though, with the smart stuff to wait long enough.
Spends the burst. Plenty of time to build it back up next round if you need to. Doesn't even matter. Pilot finds the Beast on the low. Quick 3-0. Feels like Auntie didn't know how to respond to Testament pressure nearly as well as Swordcom did.
Yeah.
In addition to, you're totally right, Swordcom was really going for just small little confirms to keep Pilot in the vortex for longer and longer, whereas Auntie didn't quite manage to convert as consistently.
Yeah, and that's just game differences between the players, right? Like not every player is going to play the characters identical.
Combo expression.
Yeah, like there is a lot of that in this game too. So it is, one of the things that make these types of sets really interesting, because it's like, man, we talked about how Pilot was like just kind of run over by an Eno, and we're like, I hope they learned.
Pilot kind of just ran over an Eno.
Yeah, I was like, I hope they learned something, and they learned that if you deplete your opponent's health bar, you win.
Turns out, crazy. Daisuke, your vision truly is beyond mortal realms. So that leaves us with Kemi and Small Squish.
Small Squish.
Yeah. Kemi, the May player that we saw before. Small Squish, Bridget. Small Squish didn't really get a whole lot done in their previous match against Swordcom. Kemi on the May, I think, has just as good of a tool set to fight a Bridget. I think Small Squish probably will get more use out of Bridget's movement against May than they did against Eno.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Kemi has against the roll, right? Because we saw Swordcom utilizing the chemical love, which just beat it, right? Because when you're twirling through the air, you can't block. But May doesn't really have a projectile like that. Like, we have the beach ball, but it's at a downward angle, so it's not going to clash in the air. So I don't know.
That said, though, there is the elephant in the room. If Bridget gets hit by May, Bridget has some of the lowest health in the game. So
yeah, they're a zero guts character, right?
Yep, I believe so. Either 0 or 1.
It's them. It's Bridget, Faust, and
Zato?
No, Zato's got 1 guts.
Okay. Either way, though, Bridget can explode when touched by a May. So it can be a very precarious yo-yo-led tightrope that you have to walk.
So we are going to have...
Looks like buttons.
No, I got confused because in the loading screen, they were swapped. Had May on top, and then we loaded it, and May was on player 2 side. But here we go. Having to block all this pressure. Gets scooped. You got to watch the toes. Unfortunate there for Small Squish. Ended up on the other side.
Finds the command grab, RC to cancel into a conversion. Push toward the corner, but Kemi finds a way out with a 2K.
Okay. The far 5K punishing the Dolphin on block is very interesting. DRC, good blocks here from Small.
In a 5P challenge, Small Squish getting on the board. Very impressive.
Yes.
Really didn't get a chance to play the game on Kemi's side.
It's very interesting how well they're playing around Dolphin, right? Like we just saw 6P there, which is kind of the old meme of just 6P the Dolphin.
Right.
But even like in the first round, every time they blocked the Dolphin, they got a punish, which is just wild. You don't see that very often.
Kemi forced to burst after 10 seconds into the next round. Full bar means Small Squish gets to send out the overdrive just to enforce their will in neutral. Back in the corner. Kemi looking to jump out.
Saw one of those really good air normals from Bridget after she went for the twirl. 6P attempt there, expecting the Dolphin.
Momentary stare down. Small Squish decides to go on the offensive. Not sure what the BRC was for. Looking for some situation that didn't manifest on Kemi's side.
That was poor timing for Kemi. The yo-yo revolver coming right back as they went for the offensive time, meaning they had to block. So this is definitely looking like a matchup where Kemi just doesn't know.
Right.
Like they just have never played against the Bridget before.
And Bridget is definitely a knowledge check-laden character. If you don't know the shenanigans, if you don't know the counterplay for your character, it is extremely difficult to make anything happen against Bridget.
Yeah, I like everybody. Think about the first time you played Axel.
I don't know what to do. What's a dash block?
Yeah. I mean, dash blocking is prevalent enough in the game that you should know it, especially since Half the Chaos exists. But
It's a metaphor, Doc. Okay.
Nope, I'm taking it literally.
All right, fine.
And here we go. But no, Bridget kind of like is the antithesis too, because like dash blocking works, but it also doesn't work.
Yeah, because they have so many mobility and mix options out of that mobility that you're trying to dash block. It can be really, really difficult to make anything happen.
Does get a nice 3K, interrupting with the RC. So Kemi finally getting one on the board.
Up Dolphin, doesn't find anything, pushes himself a little bit into the corner.
Big 5S there, takes him to the corner, having to block all the pressure now.
Another. Kickstart My Heart so good at pushing characters into the corner. Kemi is just living there all set so far.
The jump out successful though. Trying to jail him in there with these big anchors, but that time released a little too early. That was like a quintuple overhead you had to block. That is impossible.
Full bar on Small Squish's side. 2 bars to expend. Doesn't need either of them. Rock the baby command throw. That's another one. Another knowledge check. You can interrupt that if you're looking for it. Kemi has not interrupted a single one. All set.
2K2D for the knockdown. Reversal. Get off of me. I'm going to DP out. Has to spend the burst. Wasn't ready for the counter hit.
Dolphin trying to get in. But Small Squish finding opportunities again and again. Kemi cannot do anything. Just does not know the counterplay.
Definitely a tough looking match here. Still needs a little bit more here onto Kemi's health bar though. Let's see what Small Squish can do. Great YRC to buy the pressure back.
Yeah, you've got the positive bonus anyway. Your tension is coming up so quick. Go ahead and spend that YRC. You're going to get it back just as soon as you spend it.
Yeah, using the twirl, can't quite catch up to it. Kemi forced to play neutral again.
Go into the air. One more hit. There it is, Small Squish 2-0. Very convincingly, too, in a matchup that can be pretty difficult, but proving to be pretty effective so far, all these tactics.
Yeah. The gameplay from Small Squish actually getting represented this time instead of having to spend a lot of time defensively. Whereas Kemi is the exact opposite, not having a lot of time to play offense, has to spend blocking a lot of the time here. Gets caught by the anchor, though. And Kemi with a huge starter.
Had the overdrive, chose to save it. I actually like that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have killed anyway.
Ooh.
And with 1 metered conversion, you can do the next 45% very, very easily as May. So, keeping a meter, I like that choice. Look for a YRC here, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Got out anyway.
Oh, gonna try and keep it burst safe like most May combos are, but they actually drop it? Never mind, they're okay. They're good.
I just eat some RC and it's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, May, again, surprisingly one of the harder characters to burst in the game. Like, you think of the zoners as, like, impossible to burst with, like, Axel and Happy Chaos. but make combos just launch you so high in the sky that it's incredibly difficult.
Kemi forced into the corner once again. And Small Squish is really relying on 6Ps as a way to get out of there, and it's working really well so far. Finds another one. Burst is baited.
Big bait.
Getting all the way to the corner again. Small Squish has these combos. They're not trivial.
Applies the pressure. Punish it.
Ooh,
Okay.
Jump cancel for the burst bait.
Oh! How do you not confirm that?
Didn't get, it was a slightly missed space. Didn't get the wall bounce, so just bounced off the ground instead. Use these frames from the guard crush to go up and throw them. Overdrive? Indeed.
Yep. Still alive, though.
Yep.
Definitely enough scaling. Guts notwithstanding. But yeah, the safe jump, giving Kemi more than enough time to get in there, and they take a game.
Yeah, 2-1. Looks significantly better. Small Squish, again, nothing really wrong there. You drop a game sometimes, that's fine. May's a high damage character. Guilty Gear's a high damage game. You're not feeling too bad off losing one game.
Yeah.
Especially now you've already got Kemi back in the corner, stole their burst, got your pressure running again. It's really after Kemi resets pressure that they don't know how to navigate. It's been bursts, YRCs, and Small Squish gets to run pressure again every single time.
Wall break coming in here for Small Squish. The life bar. This might actually be a perfect coming up. Never mind.
You had to say it, didn't you?
I had to.
You had
Sorry. Sorry, Squish. Nice block on the 5 dust there.
Kemi with the bar.
Oh, wow.
Small Squish with the DP.
That was crazy getting to the other side, but all that just a gold burst. But again, another difficult combo drop there for Kemi.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate bouncing Small Squish to the other side. I wonder if maybe there's some lightweight routing that Kemi needs to be using that they're not really aware of. Burst available for Kemi.
Gets the throw.
Gets the throw, yeah.
Trying to keep him trapped in the corner, but it is just going to be the 2P from Small Squish, setting up set point now.
One more. Look at his just blocks for Kemi. It's something we weren't seeing earlier in the set. Dolphin
Nice
carries
down.
into the corner, yep.
Gets the scoop, but like you said, no wall bounce.
Burst just to reset the pressure. The tempo burst, as a good friend of mine likes to call it.
It was a good call, but it was also then immediately canceled out by that DP, which is, it's tough because like this is a zoner that has a meterless reversal. It's difficult to deal with all the time.
Yeah, there's a reason that's not a tool that's usually in a zoner's toolkit. But Kemi finding a way out of the corner, has a bar.
2K2D, nice block there.
The
Gets the
3K. Yeah.
That's going to be a kill. Oh no!
Just barely missing out on it, but the air throw for that last bit of damage. Small Squish saving the burst, has it available. Kemi will likely have it available this round. Small Squish going to need a lot of hits to make that damage happen. Means Kemi has lots of meter to build. Counter hit Dolphin, has to spend the burst. He would have been in big danger there.
Yeah, definitely would have gone through the wall. Nice. Dodging out there from Small Squish. Still trying to play this neutral game. Counter hit's a big opportunity.
Pull on up, toss him around, get a mix, 2K2D, set the yo-yo. The mix was a throw, but it wasn't in range. Kemi escapes, trying to keep the jailing going with the 6H anchor.
And Kemi's doing a really interesting job when they're charging decisions, right? Like that in itself is a mix-up, and they've gone away with it a few times where they have gone for a fairly decent charge, but 6P coming out there to beat out the JD.
And we're seeing Small Squish go for a lot of backdashes that are getting caught out by Dolphins. Something that wasn't happening quite as much as early in the set.
Oh, not able to counter the air normals. That's a big hit though. Red RC, do we have these?
We got them, and we got enough damage with the wall break. Bring it to a final game. Kemi's looking alive.
That was a very important scenario for Kemi because they've been dropping a lot of combos in the corner.
Yeah.
So for them to basically bet the set on that combo, granted it's one of May's longest standing combos.
Right.
You still gotta hit it. There's always a chance to drop.
But you can't let yourself get flapped by having missed your combos a couple times earlier in the set.
Nice block on the kickstart. Giving another opportunity. Neutral.
Kemi's got the pressure running with the RC. YRC is expended.
We're seeing a fair amount of up back from Kemi, and whether it's to that time beat at the command grab, but even the normals that they're dodging out on have been incredibly important.
Yeah, and it's especially important because the command grabs were also landing a lot really early in the set, so Kemi finding the timing to get out of that situation, very important. DPs represented.
Yeah, try to get fancy with it with the jump over, but they're paying for a lot with the health bar. Command grab works. Red RC going to put us through the wall.
Burst still available for Kemi.
I think you hold it.
I think you hold it, especially when the air throw comes in, and the throw after the air throw, 1-2 punch gets Kemi 1 round away from going 3-2.
Which would actually 3-0 SNHU.
That's true. That's true.
So the entire set relies on these next rounds. Burst there from Kemi, trying to get some tempo back, but they still can't quite get the approach going. JD, small squish, gets hit by the 6P.
Backdashes the meaty, but gets thrown for their trouble. Kemi has a bar to convert any stray hit. That could be enough. Is this going to be it? The Orca comes through. Not quite enough, though.
No, but it gives you positive bonus and a safe jump there. Gets the approach, gets the hit, gets the confirm, but the burst is so late.
RPS for game goes in favor of small swish, but it doesn't matter. The jump in JH for Kemi closes the set. That is going to be 3-0 in favor of WSU over SNHU.
Yeah, incredible stuff today from all three teams. Every player definitely came out swinging. And other than the 1-3-0, no, we saw 2 3-0s.
Yeah.
Everything else basically went the distance, whether it was final game or even final game, final rounds.
And even the 3-0s, there were definitely some close matches in it. The last one's a great example. Yeah, it was a 3-0, but Small Squish versus Kemi, very, very close match.
It was a 3-2.
A 3-0 between the teams.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about actual character matches.
That's true.
But, yeah, no. So, I mean, the teams definitely came out swinging. I'm very excited for them. I'm glad that they had as much support in-house as they did. That's always something I love to see. I mean, I don't know how much chat heard it because I know that these mics are picking stuff up. But, no, they were lots of cheering. Every time a team won, it was very nice to see.
Yeah, getting to play with your friends is way more fun than not. So getting to bring a squad out for the squad match feels like a good time. We are going to take a little bit of a break now. We have that exposition is now concluded, which will bring us into our regularly scheduled programming bracket as soon as we are back. Gonna have a little chance for us to refill our water, use the bathroom, get everything set up for the bracket, get our TOs where they need to go. So Guilty Gear Strive is going to continue after this break. Don't go anywhere.